Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 554th episode of the GeekVerse podcast, something like that. I'm the Clown Prince podcast, Stress now, and I'm joined by
The Voyager, Kirklin Patzer.
I'm the Marcaster Dilmas.
The Warthog School, Taylorfield.
Warthog School.
Warthog.
Yeah. Play on words.
It just,
It's Hogwarts
Reversed a couple
backwards.
things. Yeah. I was going to say.
I don't know if it's backwards.
okay.
I don't know.
He's going to
Okay.
kick him. He's
That's
going to kick
fine.
him. I
That's
saw that
fine.
click.
I won't do it quick. I won't do it too much because Kirkland's editing, so sorry. Don't worry.
You get one.
what-
One of the evening, you just used it.
for everybody,
Minute in.
even myself. But no, thank you, everybody, for listening and watching that. So whenever you choose, sorry, Taylor's name fucking threw me off. I don't got the brain cells, as I was talking about with Dylan before. It's been a busy week, so I don't think I had the brain cells for word puns and word mix-up and stuff. I was just trying to think of like what news or trailer we're talking about that covers warthogs. You know, like I was trying. My brain was broken for a second. You know, but.
My
Alas,
mind went Halo, to be fair. So
Yeah,
I
Halo
understand
Season
the
2
confusion.
That's
trailer.
good. Ooh.
That's what
Yeah, I was like double checking the notes. Like, did we get something?
is that like happening season? I know they announced it, but like, is it actually still happening? Season
I
2?
thought they were like already, up and running.
I don't see any
filming.
I've
reason why
vanquished
it's
it from my
not.
mind, so I'm not sure.
And then because someone I can't remember in Discord, someone asking you Taylor about the Assassin's Creed thing too. That's another thing where it's like that show was announced how long ago?
Man,
was it
they
called?
were talking about the Netflix show back when I went to Fan Expo in Toronto. Like, it had to be like 5 years ago now.
Yeah,
and they
but
were
no,
talking
it,
about it there.
it was earlier. Yeah, it's been not as long as that though. Because remember they did like a drop the logo or a teaser or
They
something.
did, yeah. I
Later
have
on,
no
yeah.
idea. Like, there was a follow up not too long ago where they said it's still being worked on, but I
Yeah.
don't put much stock in those.
What was the teaser? Was it like anything
logo.
substantial and just a logo? Okay.
It was just like the logo fades to black and then Netflix. Because I think the thing you're talking about to the expo is I don't think they confirmed or revealed that it was Netflix, or I don't think that was a done deal. I think they're just talking about a TV show. And I think the big deal is like, wow, it's Netflix, you know, and then it's been dead quiet. But I feel like it's a meme, but I feel like every executive after this past week of Mario has to be like, hey, why haven't we got that Assassin's Creed thing going yet? Like everybody that's bought an IP for a game, they got to be like, let's snap to it. Come on,
Illumination's email inbox is just like overflowing at this
Oh
point.
yeah. Have you heard of Assassin's Creed?
I
Wouldn't you
want
love?
to do animated Assassin's Creed movie.
I'd love to see
Illumination.
that, though.
I was
I'd
gonna
love
say,
to see
Taylor,
that.
would you take that? But like, it's not done seriously. It's done in the way of like Minions humor style.
Oh,
I'd
wow.
actually be curious to see how they do it because I feel like it'd be like a rat, like Ubisoft Rabbids kind of thing, and the Rabbids are pretty popular, I'd say. So,
But is
I think
that
you
what
could have
you?
some fun?
I know they're pretty popular, but is that what you would want for your Assassin's Creed?
Well, no, I mean,
Okay.
but I mean, I
Live
already got
action
a
or bust
movie.
for you?
Well, I already got a live action movies, and I definitely enjoyed that. So,
Right. I forgot about
Did
that
you?
for a second.
Never
there.
seen it.
Yeah.
Fassbender.
Probably watch it one
seen
day.
it? I'll
You
hold
guys
your
are
hand.
Never
on that.
seen it.
point.
Next
Yeah.
Taylor birthday party. That's what he's throwing on.
Mm.
Everyone watch this. Everyone just clears out real fast. It's
When was the
like-
last time you watched that movie, Taylor?
I
You
watched
have
it
a steel,
about.
steel case for that.
I
sucker?
don't have the steel case. They were actually
Damn.
they
Fake
did
fan.
Yeah.
Deadpool all like alt cases for all these different
Right.
films, and they did one for Assassin's Creed, which I wish I picked that up. But
I'm gonna look that up.
I watched it probably about a month and a half to 2 months ago. My brother-in-law came over. He's like, I got a big itch to watch
That's
Assassin's
way more
Creed,
recent than I
Taylor.
was expecting.
He's like, I got a big itch to watch it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's pop it on. Let's watch it. So
Like
watching it on
Scott?
ice, like, not that brother-in-law, different brother-in-law.
Okay, I was like, that doesn't feel like a Scott move to come home and be like, I'm
No.
itching to watch Assassin's Creed.
No.
Like, I got this beat towards Assassin's Creed, but not a movie. But wow, 2 months, yeah. Because I remember, were you in the theaters with us, Taylor? I remember me, Dylan
No, I
Briggs
went
saw
to see
it.
it with Ruben.
Right, yeah, he couldn't see it with us. He's like, they're gonna fucking just shit on it. I just remember having the showing wrong. And I think even Dylan offered like, hey, I'll pick you up. I was like, oh no, it's fine. Like I'll be there. And then I had the showing wrong. I just remember fucking huffing it to Grand 10 from my house at a bad key at the time, just running at like full speed. I remember sitting down beside Dylan Briggs. It was like us three and like two other people. I feel like it was like empty theater, and I was just soaked in sweat, and it was just like, so the first half an hour I was not in a good mood. I'm just like trying to breeze off here and everything, and then I got fucking Michael Fassbender in the worst movie of his life. But
Is this the one, Taylor? This image
That's the
here?
one. Yeah.
how did you not get that?
I don't remember. I don't know if I could find
That's
it because
pretty wild
Walmart.
that exists, man. I don't know.
Walmart
That's
had
crazy.
some other ones. I'll show you these other ones that they got here because there's some really cool ones. They had like X-Men First Class, Castaway, Terminator, Predator, Logan, like War for the Planet of the Apes, even Fight Club. Like there was some definitely really cool.
Yeah,
alternate
I like the good, and the bad, and the
covers.
ugly one. I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
my favorite. I like that one. Who the fuck behind the X-Men Apocalypse one? Like, it's just so boring. It's just Apocalypse head with Deadpool replaced.
Hey, look at that Office Space. We're gonna be watching that.
Oh,
soon.
wow.
Yeah, we gotta
Oh,
buy
yeah.
that version. Yeah, Castaway one actually is pretty good too. The Castaway one, that's a real
good.
winner.
Yeah.
I don't
like
know
the
how I feel.
Terminator too.
Yeah,
the
I don't know how I feel about the other like X-Men ones. It's just kind of
In the
weird.
wheelchair and everything. I like
Yeah.
the Future Past one. That looks cool.
And like, I don't know. I would get these if you can buy these as slips, but I don't think that's the way it was, right? You would buy the movie and these would be the cases, right?
Yeah, it'd be the case. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I understand like for
Print
if
them
there's.
off, I'm sure. Yeah, that probably
Yeah, I
exists.
guess so. But I was gonna say like, the people I understand like Taylor who he didn't. I was like a mega fan, like, oh, I'd want this version of Deadpool with this. But like, who if they bought? Hey, I'm gonna buy. Castaway. Tom Hanks's Castaway. They like the movie that they never own physically. Are they gonna really want like the Deadpool like as
I think
Wilson
it's more the Marvel
version?
fans getting that instead of like the actual movie fans.
So, do you also think when they remove the slip, is the case the same? Is it regular? Like the outside slip is Deadpool and the inside is
I think I have an answer for that.
it's reversible?
Too.
Okay.
For example, The
Ooh.
Martian. So it's the slip underneath. It's the.
okay.
the
That makes
original.
it better then. That makes it better. So,
It's a good two
yeah.
in one.
yeah. But do you think anyone bought all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone
Someone
did
did.
for sure.
And they're all
Someone
just
did.
this Deadpool movie. They're not even the the movie they're supposed to be. Just
They
14
just switch out the
copies of
disc with
Deadpool.
another random.
Yeah.
They're all so you had to buy all those movies and then that many copies of Deadpool and stuff like that. That's fascinating. I had to bring up too because obviously this is like the just foreplay version of the podcast before we get in the news and everything. I had to bring up because we talked about this on Weekly Geek this week of Olive Garden versus Spaghetti Factory. Dylan, have you ever been to Olive Garden?
Yeah, that was like a tradition. Me and my dad, whenever we'd go down to the States to go see our Steely Dan shows, we would notoriously stop at the Olive Garden. That was kind of our little 1-2 combo there. So I got
It's
a soft
great,
spot
right?
for Olive Garden. Yeah.
It's great. The breadsticks, everything. So far, we only had one person, but thank you. Jason Tanner said, never heard of Spaghetti Factory, but Olive Garden's the bomb. So we asked people if they had been to Spaghetti Factory because I think Taylor is low-key a fan. I didn't want to trash the place, but I do not like Spaghetti Factory. Like, the food there tastes like cardboard to me and stuff like that. Like,
You
if
gotta
Taylor
be
does
leery
any
about
event...
the chicken and the fish. I'd stay clear,
And
but
the
that's spaghetti and
noodles and the
meatballs
pasta.
and their French onion soup.
Any restaurant where you say you got to stay clear of two things, not just two things, like steer clear. I think
Two
that's
protein
already.
up too. Like,
Yeah.
Like, how do you mess
chicken
up?
and
You're
chicken
not-
rolls.
you
You're not
sick
gonna
if
get
it's
you're
not
not gonna get
cooked
sick and like
correctly.
food poisoning. But I mean, just my personal take. I'd feel leery on it, but the rest, fucking amazing.
Leery,
I like Kirklin's little grimace when you said French onion soup. His nose just like crinkled a little
I
bit.
can
So
smell
good.
it. I can smell
It's
Taylor's
all-
breath.
it's all
from the
cheese.
French onion soup.
Oh my god, it's just thick mozzarella, just gooped on top. It's so
that's
good.
no, that's it's not
Like a
supposed to be.
poutine.
Old Spaghetti Factory is fucked up. Then it's not supposed to be mozzarella. It's supposed to be
Maybe- well,
Swiss.
Maybe it is Swiss. Maybe I was getting it wrong. It just-
Okay, like
you can't even
mozzarella.
taste the type of cheeses. It's just goop of cheese on top.
Well, then that's also bad. You're supposed to taste
You
the
probably don't
Swiss. That
taste
goes
it better
with
if
it.
it was a goop. Yeah, I'm curious what's in that goop now.
Does this not cactus the olive joint? Does it have French onion soup?
the olive
Cactus
joint.
Garden. Does it have what? Sorry, French onion soup?
yeah.
No, because it's not French. It's
neither is
Italian
Spaghetti
dishes.
Factory.
Italian.
But yeah, but it's the Olive Garden. It's Italian. Like it's I don't know. For me, like French onion soup added
That defense.
to me, a French onion soup at an Italian restaurant feels a little off. Like if you go to a Mexican restaurant and they're like, "Yeah, hey, we have spaghetti and meatballs," you'd be like, Like why? Like you're a Mexican restaurant, you know, like all of them and
Is
stuff.
Spaghetti Factory a Canadian thing? I'm curious why that
Pretty
person
sure
had
it's a
never heard of it.
Canadian thing.
I think it is.
Okay,
That's what
that
we,
makes
we
sense then.
yeah, we asked. We said for Americans, please let us know if there's a spaghetti factory. And first of all, you should be lucky. One, apparently the chicken and fish are going to take you down. But two, yeah, it's to me, it's like we've only been twice. Me and I was excited because I was, as I've said before, my plan was to marry an Italian woman. Emily messed that up, but because I love Italian food. But we got Old Spaghetti Factory. We went, not good. We didn't get the chicken or fish, but still just not good in general. And then another person, like 6 months later, we were like, we're never going back there. And then somebody had a birthday party there, and we had to go because it was a surprise birthday. Like, ugh, and yeah, I've not liked any of their food there. No offense to the Spaghetti Factory, but it's just there's no flavor. And Italian food's all about flavor. You know, it's all about just like the smells, the cheese, the sauces, the type of noodle you use. This was just like, here's a couple tomatoes cut up on some spaghetti that's like half cooked.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, $20.
Went there
Awesome.
recently. Our family went there as like a big thing. It was good for that environment where we just had like 13 people or something like that, and it was a nice thing. But yeah, I mean, I don't think the food was fantastic, but it was like it was a good experience still, if that makes sense. Like it was just a good
fair.
time. It was reliable. It was good enough, you know.
Yeah.
And like not too pricey. I think that's another thing too. It's one of those.
Yes.
It's like not a high-end restaurant in that way, so you're not breaking the bank to
No.
get your little spaghetti meatball there and your French onion soup on the side.
And I feel like with a regular meal that you order, you get like a combo. You get like an ice cream at the
Yeah.
end. You get like
All-
a
it's all
salad,
included.
And then yeah, you
all
get
that
like
stuff.
a salad or a soup or something.
Yeah.
It feels like a pretty good value for sure.
Last time I went there, Shay and I were in Banff, and they had one downtown Banff. So it was like, wow, okay. I don't know. It's Spaghetti Factory, but it's Banff Spaghetti Factory, so maybe it's a little bit fancier. And that was the more positive. Just yeah. I feel like the time before that would have been honestly like a grade 5 field trip to Vancouver, and like we went there. So as a kid, I don't know. It was just noodles. Like it didn't really have the flavor palette for anything major crazy.
I remember one time as a kid with my family. Once again, apparently Spaghetti Factory is a big thing over here in the Muss family. But we went there, and my cousin ordered a salad, and then he just fucking drenched it in ketchup, like just layer and layers and layers. Of
One of those
ketchup.
kids.
But then he just didn't eat it. So it was like, wow, what a waste! What a waste that was. But I still remember it to this day. So it was a pretty iconic moment. Because I would not have done that. I was pretty shy. I didn't want to like break the rules or anything like that, and that was just a level of disrespect I didn't even know how to accomplish. So
I remember
What
like
kind
hockey
of salad?
tournaments or something.
it was a Caesar salad, just
Oh, yeah.
tons of ketchup.
So the Caesar dressing was already on there, and then plus ketchup.
Fucked.
Yeah, I don't know if he ate any before doing the ketchup thing, or if he was just trying to get attention and being a little psycho. But it was probably that one, and I don't know if he had any bites of that.
There's
What
always that
happened to
one kid.
cousin?
Yeah, where is he now?
He's doing all
I remember
You doing all
I
right?
remember, like
He's doing all right.
yeah.
on like hockey tournaments, we go to like Boston Pizza or something, and then like all the hooligans are together, and then there's always that one kid that's just putting like ketchup in the water and like salt and pepper or whatever, and just like just doing that.
Was
Just-
that you?
no, it was never me. I was like Dylan. I was just like, this feels wrong. I don't want to
break
get
the
caught
rules.
with these hood rats.
Dylan's cousin on your team?
He might have been. I don't know.
It's possible.
Compare photos.
Yeah.
When you went to Spaghetti Factory, Dylan, did you get the chicken or fish?
The hell did I get this most recent time? It might have had chicken in it, and
Okay.
I don't remember getting sick. But
That's good.
I think I think it was fine.
Spaghetti Factory never gonna be a sponsor of this place.
What episode the GM of Spaghetti Factory tunes in? I'm
Yeah.
looking for some podcast to sponsor.
He's just sitting there, just son of a bitch. Yeah, well, there you go. Spaghetti Factory, Olive Garden. Please let us know, and let us know your experiences of Olive Garden, because I'm a big fan of that place. Magical place. You know, again, it's still not like grade A food. I understand. It's the same way when I talk about Golden Corral, how much I love it. Every time I hear Americans talk about it, they just bag on it. Maybe it's because they don't have it. It's like, I understand it's not great food, but still the greatest buffet of all time.
I'll never forget that when you started like first raved about it, and I think in the Discord, I think it was Hansi that started off like it's just shit, and I could feel your soul was crushed.
No, not really. I'll eat what I can eat, you know, and stuff like that. Not the chicken and fish roll spaghetti.
Ketchup
but,
on your Caesar salad.
No, I don't touch ketchup at all. I'm not a fan of. I've never really been a fan of ketchup. I've just an overpowering flavor. I'm not a big sauces guy in general. I like things marinated and stuff, but I'm not a big fan. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. All right,
American
my
in Travis
American
coming
came
out.
out there for a
Antonio
second.
Marinade.
Yeah, my marinated. But no, I always say like I like spices more than sauce. And to me, if you need to, depending, not all of them, but lots of times people in their sauce and stuff, it's because whatever they're eating is not that good. So they gotta be like, oh, I'll eat this, and really they're just eating like a piece of meat with ketchup, or a piece of whatever with ketchup. Like you gotta know how to cook it and marinate it, and marinate and spice it.
Ketchup.
So
Marinate
there's
with
not-
ketchup.
like
Oh,
there's
yeah.
not much sauces. Like I'd say maybe the most I'd use is probably barbecue sauce, but other than that, like I don't think of any sauces I just use on food that much. Really, it's more about spices. So
Fair enough.
I've had barbecue sauces with ketchup in it, and you probably have too. So there you go.
Yeah,
You're probably a
they're-
ketchup
they're
lover.
pretty
but-
close
I don't know.
relatives.
yeah,
those
they're in
two.
the family, but there's just like a one thing
The
off.
Sugar City in there. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. Deerfield, where can they find us?
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, you can find us in our connection in the search bar. GeekVerse.ca is our home base. GeekVerseCast is our Twitter, and GeekVerse is our Facebook.
Or at the Olive Garden. We're also there sometimes. So.
Oh yeah, Olive Garden. If
Find
you're
us there.
listening, you don't need the sponsorship, but we'll do it. I'll do it for free. Just give me like a free breadsticks pass for when we go there. It'd be absolutely worth it.
They already give you unlimited breadsticks. That's you don't need that.
You got to buy something though, right? You can't just go and be like, "Give me the breadsticks." I want it, so they go, "What are you here for?" And I slam down a card and I go, "Give me the breadsticks," and that's it. And I just-
Right away, sir. That's what they say.
Yeah, they don't even let me have
Master
water.
Snell coming right
Yeah, yeah, they don't even let me have water. I gotta buy that. But the breadsticks, they're like, "All right, we'll let you have the breadsticks and stuff like that." Tia, you sound excited that I threw the links to you. Were you surprised or something?
I was just not expecting the detour.
All right.
Now we're back
I
on the
wasn't expecting
breadsticks,
that.
so we're back at the Olive Garden. So.
Yeah.
No,
That's what we
leave
do
it,
around
leave it
here.
behind. We need to move forward.
Everybody, as usual, head down the links below for everything you need to know. That's where you can find us: videos, audios, all our separate feeds, all that good jazz. We thank you as always for supporting us. Head over to Patreon right now. Get ad-free, exclusive, early episodes. Soon we'll be starting the Indiana Jones retro. You can get, I think we're up to 7 or 8 X-Men retrospectives up there now, and then everything's ad-free and early up there, and you can send in questions, so it's a good time. And a big thank you to everyone that's on there. Thank you to our Patreon producers at the highest tier: Aaron Braden, April Darkness, Joshua White, and Jack Grant. And thank you to everyone else, and thank you to everyone supporting me, because the more you support this show and all the other shows of GeekVerse, it comes right back to us and comes right back to you, because we can create more shows and stuff like that. So we appreciate the support as always. Yeah, and then the one question we got for this is Kirklin Patzer. He sent a question. No, I'm joking.
I was like, what did I say?
It was a "Don't say it's Kirkland Patzer." No, from Ty Greenhall. He's talking about something we were probably with our Mandalorian episode, and he says, referring to your talks about the Dawn of the Jedi movie, the first novel in Star Wars Legends timeline is called Dawn of the Jedi Into the Void. The book is about a race of people called the Jedi, and it's like Jed and then like a com with an II, or it's like, I know it's said a different way or something like that. Who are
Pronounced like
force-
the Nintendo Wii. It sounds like maybe
Jedi.
the Jedi.
The Jedis.
Love
I
it.
don't know. Yeah, maybe. Who are Force users before the Jedi are created, and they live on a planet, Tython, which we saw in Mandalorian. I know they are kind of abandoned in the Legend storylines, but I'm curious if they'll put anything into the book, pull anything from the books. Curious to know what your guys' thoughts are. So I'm just gonna start with Dylan, because I want to ask you 2 questions. Connect this. One, did any of those movies, if they happened, Dylan, get you excited of the First Jedi, Rey's back, and obviously Mando movie? We know that's a no-go. But the other 2, and also, do you have any, like with the First Jedi, would you like this idea of they're like a race of people before they become like a religion, or you think that's kind of like iffy? Like, where are you as fact of like how should they tackle the First Jedi?
Director of Logan as well, mind you.
Yeah, I asked Dylan, but that's okay. But yes, it is
Just
the
adding.
director. Yes.
I mean, that idea with the First Jedi, and this is, I don't know the backstory here. That sounds like kind of like bottom of the barrel kind of thing to me personally. So I don't think I particularly care about that. It's hard for me to feel anything about any of these projects, and I am happy for everyone who's excited, but I also feel bad that it just feels kind of meaningless, these announcements right now. So I think for me, I got to see a trailer, not some stupid ass teaser trailer, like a trailer.
Yes.
Before I think I can feel anything. But so that's my short answer. Not really.
Ray might be back though. If she makes it, you like Ray, so she might have some more
Yeah.
adventures.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Kirk and Patzer.
I think it'd be really cool to finally like see the Jedi or whatever the hell we're calling them. Just because, yeah, I've heard through the
Oh no.
through the grapevine of
What's this
what?
guy getting delivered again over here now? Every cast, there's some sort of
French
food
onion
gets
soup.
just
Unlimited
gets-
breadsticks, probably.
Yeah, like this is what happened in Mandalorian. We start like food.
It is
just
breadsticks.
No, it's not breadstick. That's a fish stick with tartar sauce. Tartar sauce is very good.
Tartar.
Tartar sauce
No
is
ketchup
good.
though.
Yeah, continue, Kirkland.
No
I just had
chop.
to mention every cast he gets food delivery service.
We need a banner with like Taylor's
I
menu
skip
for
the
the night.
dishes guy. I invite him inside like you do, showing off your
He
coat.
hand feeds you the fish stick.
Okay, again, I did
Cover
not
your
invite.
bedroom.
I did not invite anyone inside my house to try my coat. They would stand outside the deck. That's it. You know.
Not in my headcanon. My headcanon, you brought him in. Played
Oh,
some
wow.
games with him.
On the
afterwards.
game, good question. We'll answer that after this. But yeah, so Kirkland, the Jedi, or
Yeah,
Jedi,
the-
or
I think it'd be really cool to finally see them and just kind of know about, I don't know, their motivations and backstory. Because I really don't know anything about them. All I know is they are a thing, and like the term Jedi was taken.
Why the
what's going on?
what's going on over there? What-
Confused.
See, like, what is that? A Pornhub or something? No, I'm kidding.
Wait, that's Dylan's screen, right?
Yeah.
Do you know it's still on the bottom there, Dylan?
What's that?
Your screen share.
Yeah, I'm just doing some Googling. I was just bringing up the YouTube.
Okay,
No,
I was very
okay.
confused because I was seeing us and then I saw us below. I was like, what's about to happen?
You mentioned the
here?
chat, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't have the YouTube open, so I opened that.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. So, yeah. What about
Yeah.
you, Taylor? Oh shit, sorry.
Oh shit!
Keep it going.
Off our rocker this evening.
A
Uh,
game.
I don't know if I would like that more so than kind of like the, I don't know, like kind of what I was pitching last time when we were talking about with like the original story that I had heard with like the various different races. I just like to see a mixture of different species amongst Star Wars. I feel like that's what makes it very just unique, is just those big melting pots of species and races and all that stuff. So I feel like part of me would still prefer that, but still to get the chance and opportunity to finally see the Jedi for once, I think that is really cool. And I have heard positive things from those Legends stories, like most Legends stories. So
Mm-hmm. Well, there's some stinkers in there. There's some moments where like Chewbacca becomes a spider and stuff. So, Taylor, you
Whoa,
want
I've
to
never
see
heard
the
about that
Jedi? The Jedi.
I really, really want to see how this story is told. I think when you go back 25,000 years, that's a long time. Think about going back in our universe 25,000 years. There's a whole bunch of caveman stories we could be telling that I would love to be immersed in. So if you go in Star Wars, oh my God, there's just so much room to cover. Space travel,
Taylor had to
aliens.
swallow his food in between. He said, "Oh my god! Oh,
I thought he was getting more
I
food
mean,
for
my
a
God.
second, the way he looked.
he's being fed."
It's my second skip order. Yeah, I just think that we really have just a vast pool to explore and dive into. It's so far away from the dark times, as the fans call it.
Thank
so,
God.
Yeah,
That's the
let's-
fans.
As the fans call it. Let's just get into
Or
it. and then-
Lucasfilm.
or soon enough, maybe we'll get another film set 25,000 years before that 25,000 years. So soon we'll be 50,000 years before the dark times. I mean, really, it's just that
65 million
universe.
years.
It's just gonna be
65
Earth at
million
that
years.
point. It's
Yeah,
gonna be like, what
it's,
were they doing?
It's the universe is literally the oyster here, and I think if this movie is done well, then they can really just send us off on a fantastic direction, and they don't have to worry about ruining anything that we kind of got already established in our current universe. So it's really just an open sandbox, and I don't know how you can go wrong with that. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer Tyler's question because, like I've said this before, I don't see any good way of tackling the first Jedi. It's not a story I necessarily want. I'm only into it because James Mangold's directing it and I trust him. But I just like, I just feel like it's just like, how do you tell? Like, I don't even know if I like the idea of like there's a race of people that are like Force sensitive. Like, I don't know. Like, do I like that better than just one guy or girl discovering they have the Force and they teach that? Like, I don't really know. So it's gonna come down to when I see it. So that way, I guess I can say I'm open, but I'm not as open because I'm not too fond of the idea. I kind of wish it was just left in mystery, and even if they went back and said, hey, we're telling stories about Jedi's 25,000 years earlier, and it's not the first one, great. So we'll see. But I think I'm more in the camp of not having like a race of people, because I don't want it to feel less special, but at the same time I don't know how like it converts from a race to, you got the people, and then you got the religion, and then you got like the order, so maybe there's something fun there, but I don't know. We'll see. And then On the Game has a couple questions. We kind of answered this on the Stars cast. You can go back. Filoni's Mando versus surely the safest pick. I think we all agreed that was like, yeah, because those TV shows, it's going to happen. Would those caveman movies stories / be possible with grunts as authentic as possible? Taylor, you got to answer that?
That's why I want the Jedi to be talking, just grunts.
Great. Yeah, just subtitles. And then if you could have one, Mangled Swamp Thing or Mangled Star Wars, which one are you picking? That's very tough for me. I don't know. It's like, I guess for me, I would lean towards Swamp Thing, because I just don't love the idea of the First Jedi thing. But Mangold directing a Star Wars movie is quite special. I think that's really cool. But then if like Swamp Thing would happen to be rated R, it'd be like, oh, well, that's also cool. So I'm very 50-50, but I think I lean towards Swamp Thing because the concept, but the actual just overall thing, Star Wars, I want to see what he could do with it. That's a director's director right there. So, and I think I don't think any of you would pick Swamp Thing because you don't have too much of a touchstone with Swamp Thing. So
I'll take it. Hell yeah.
You'd rather have him on the DC
That's how
team?
little I care about Star Wars right
Yeah.
now, that I will take this Swamp Thing. It sounds just slightly more interesting for me, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And he said this past weekend he's writing both, so it sounds like it's going to go. He's doing a Bob Dylan movie next. It sounds like Star Wars and then Swamp Thing, and that Bob Dylan movie is Chalamet playing Bob Dylan, so it's going to be interesting because apparently like, people have said like there's just rumors that the script isn't great, and the reason it's not great is because like I guess Bob Dylan didn't really want them to dive too deep into his actual life, so like it's not really, doesn't have much like meat on the bone. It's just like about the songs and stuff, which is good, but he's a mysterious guy, right? So you don't want to reveal the illusion of Bob Dylan and stuff. So yeah,
Those are hot in Hollywood right now. Just these
Yeah.
boring biopics of musicians. So
Bohemian Rhapsody, man, that's like, I know they've always done that, but Bohemian Rhapsody really kicked that back up to like, oh, we can, it's like the Mario, we got a whole slew of musicians we can make movies of. Let's go.
They're looking to Illumination for all those new biopics now.
that would be wild.
Just trying to think. Yeah, what like I'll take like Kiss with
Tenacious
Illumination.
D animated movie.
That would
Tenacious
work,
D?
yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, Jack Black's already signed. You know, you're good to go. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, there we go. We'll take our first ad break, and then we're going to get our first actual news topics. We're going to be talking about the HBO announcements, or Max. We'll be talking some Marvel news, some trailers. So we'll be right back. And we're back as I kick my table. So it's not a big deal for us because HBO Max does not exist here. It's just Crave. We just get the content. But HBO, or I guess Warner Brothers, WBD, did a whole big press event this week because soon upfronts are coming and they're hitting on streaming stuff and all those things. So they announced that because of Warner Brothers Discovery, they're combining their two services and they're going to be Max, which I'm with some people and not with some people. If I get it, where it doesn't really matter the name, like as long as you have the content. No, I also just think Max is like just a stupid name for a streaming app. You know, I get it too because some people made the case of, well, HBO, like that's very adult centric stuff and you want to be more broad. I just wish there was something, I don't know, Max is just like a weird, just Max. But again, doesn't really affect us. But let me pull up. They confirmed and announced a bunch of things. So I'm just going to throw them all out and I'll go to each and every one of you to see if you care about any of them. But as we talked about before, these rumors of the It and Pennywise, or sorry, the It show and the Harry Potter show, those got confirmed. It's going to be a prequel. They've not confirmed yet if Skarsgård's back. There's rumors, but they've not confirmed that. I think he'll end up being back, but I just think they're probably coming together on money. Harry Potter confirmed to be a 10-year saga, adapting the books faithfully and all this jazz. They've showed the logo, and if you haven't watched the logo video, the theme is the exact same, so I don't know what's going to be changing there. And then two new ones they also announced. If anyone cares, I guess Big Bang Theory, there's a spin-off show, so if you like that show, good for you. garbage show. And then the other shows they announced was like Conjuring. They didn't say what it was, just a Conjuring show. Didn't say if it was a prequel, didn't say if it's their main characters, whatever it may be, just a Conjuring show. And then another Game of Thrones spin-off. And then I also have the cast of Creature Commandos for Kirklin after, but I'll save that because that's a bit
Spicy.
longer. Yeah. But yeah, Game of Thrones spin-off. Oh, I gotta pull it up. It was something where they said that this spin-off's not gonna be unlike the other shows where it's not a bunch of like a cast of characters. It's they call it like a double-hander, like it's a two-hander in Hollywood terms, but this is the name of it: A Knight of Seven Kingdoms, the Hedge Knight. I think they'll edit that down. Let's see. Two unlikely heroes wander Westeros. A young, naive, but courageous knight, Sir Duncan the Tall, the future Lord Commander of Kingsguard, Sir Duncan the Tall, and his squire Egg, the future king, Aegon V. Targaryen. Set in an age where Targaryen line still holds the Iron Throne, and the memory of the last dragon has not passed from living memory. Great dynasties, powerful foes, dangerous exploits, all await these improbable and incomparable friends. And I can't remember when they said it's going to take place, but you kind of got it there. So, Taylor, I'll start with you. Out of these things, anything excite you? Anything not excite you? What do you think about these? They're getting ready, and the It show's coming out 2024, and Penguin we'll get to later with the trailer. They confirm that's next year. Obviously, Potter and Conjuring have no dates right now, and the Game of Thrones spinoff. Those are pretty new. But yeah, what are your thoughts on any of these? Any of these interest you?
The Game of Thrones it's interesting, but I think I'm still riding high up like House of the Dragon. But you
don't
I'm
want a
just curious
fourth
to see-
spin-off show?
Yeah,
That's
Well,
how
I'm
many they
curious to
have right
see-
now.
I'm curious to see what they kind of do with this overall storyline and narrative and how it's going to tie in. If it's going to feel very much like a Game of Thrones where people are betraying each other, or if it's going to just be more like a smaller, contained narrative. Either way, I'm always down to go back.
I
to
think it
Westeros.
is. I think that they're kind of insinuating with it just being two characters this go around as like your focus.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how they pursue that. Game of Thrones has always been, even House of Dragon has always been just focusing on so many different characters and narratives and just leading to a convergence of sorts into like a finale of a season. So just to kind of focus on one storyline between two characters, it'll be a different change up for Westeros, I guess, so far for what we've seen. But I'm down for that. The Conjuring, that's what you sent me earlier this week. I was very, very excited to hear that. Me and Madison actually just watched Annabelle Creation the other day. She wanted to watch it for some reason, and that one, it's so good. I'm ready to go back into this universe because we got the Nun 2 that's in the works, I believe.
No, it's
and
August. I think it's coming
It's
out.
August, okay.
Yeah.
And the Crooked Man, I think that was scrapped, and then
That's
I think we're
dead,
getting
yeah.
a Conjuring 4 though, aren't we?
I think it's. I don't think Warner or anything's gonna be, but I think it is in the works. I think they might see how Insidious does, and my theory is Patrick Wilson could direct The Conjuring because he's dipping his toes in the directing bandwagon and
It's
stuff.
his franchise now.
Because he's directing
He does, yeah.
the Insidious film, is he not?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's taking over. Yeah, I can't remember
He's
what
taking
it.
over.
Remember they changed it because Kirkland drafted it, but they changed the title and we said it doesn't count anymore.
Yeah,
Because it's like
bullshit.
Insidious: The Dead Call or something now.
brutal.
But before it was something. Yeah, just a loss of a movie that sucks. Good thing no one drafted Suicide Squad. I know it's not side quest, but for the video game draft, my God, February 2024.
I know that just keeps getting
Whoa.
kicked down the road. Hey,
Gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah. Hey, it's on the board for next year, I guess. So that's good. Yeah.
So,
not
well, we
taking
thought
that.
that last year too.
Yeah.
When it comes to the Harry Potter, when I got confused because when I heard the theme, I thought, and I saw Hogwarts and everything. I thought, okay, like, are they just reusing the assets and stuff here? Because this felt very much the
Yep.
same. But I was like, oh shit, okay, this is a teaser for what is new, and they're using the same music. So if they are sticking with that theme, that makes me very, very happy. The biggest thing for me was if I hear a different theme altogether, it would be very hard for me as a person to kind of detach that. And that's just me. That's my own fault because I grew up hearing that be the theme. And it's kind of like you talked about this in one of our previous episodes where you have that Superman theme, that theme that's created a long ago. That's kind of just been touched upon in other iterations of score throughout other iterations of Superman.
Bond
so-
is another one that's been
James
around
Bond,
forever.
a
Yeah.
Really good example there. Yeah. So I'm just happy they're using that theme. I sent
What do you
the
say to
teaser-
people? I was gonna say, what do you think to people that say like, "Well, this is not a good sign because if it's a reboot, it should be original and new music and new logos and new stuff like that." Like people just feel like, "Oh, which all Hollywood is," but it's like, "Oh, it isn't an easy cash and just using the same theme over again," with a new
It is,
cast.
but just use it. I think that it benefits them to use it. I think that it can be a little chaotic for them to do something different. While you can definitely commend something that's new, an original creation, I don't think they should do it with Harry Potter. I think Harry Potter is something that they should play it a little bit safe. And again, when I sent that teaser to Madison, she was just like, "This is wrong. They shouldn't be doing this." I'm like, 10 years, Madison. She said, "No, they shouldn't be doing this." But
It's pretty negative, the reaction to because like I know it's been rumored for a while, but this was the official stamp of, hey, this is what's happening. And it's funny because last week the guy that got all the Star Wars scoops, right, and he's like a B tier scooper, he's been scooping for a while, but he said kind of what happened. The chain of events went that so they were going Cursed Child. They're going for a sequel movie, and apparently they could get Grint on board, but they couldn't get Watson or Radcliffe, and they were trying really hard. And then so the second option was they apparently tried to buy out JK for HP, and apparently she just gave them some outrageous number, kind of in a way of like, they weren't like, it'd be like if Dylan would be like, hey, could I borrow some money from you? And it'd be like, can I borrow $5 billion? But okay, I can't give you that. Like, it sounds like it was something that she gave me. Yeah, I'll sell it for this amount. And it's like, well, we couldn't buy it for that. So like, okay,
as Mojo would say.
Yeah, exactly. So what was next is apparently there's some rumors that they try to use this reboot show, like the rumors of it, as like a way to like, for the cast, like, oh, we're gonna reboot, like if you don't sign on, like we're gonna recast and move without you. And I guess Watson and Radcliffe are like, yeah, go ahead, do it. So that's why it's been rumored for a while, and then it got the official confirmation today. Only came off fan just there. I'm indifferent on him. I know there's like lots of people that don't like him because he can come off as quite obnoxious, but I put that aside. I just look at his scooper tier, and I think he's a B tier. And lately he has a new source because he's getting tons of shit right lately. So but yeah, that once it was officially announced, there's so much negative stuff. But I was gonna say kind of what Espo was saying. Yeah, even some people I know who are very much GA aren't a big fan of these being rebooted. But I don't know. We'll have to see. I just think that I'm not saying the people that are mad going to tune into it. I'm not saying that it's for sure going to be a massive hit, but I am pretty close to that. It all depends on like if it comes out the first season, it absolutely sucks. Then yeah, sure, it'll just tank. The same way House of Dragons had that, right? Like had to prove people, but those are my two examples. Is one, the game, tons of controversy with that game. I don't even know how many copies it sold, right? Like it sold gangbusters, and
it was like
even
12 million in like a week or something crazy like that.
And that to me shows, like, I know it's different with video games and the movies and TV shows, but to me it just shows, okay, that the fans are still there of it. And two, I think it's the same thing of House of Dragon when Game of Thrones ended. I was one of them. And so many people were like, I'm done with Game of Thrones. I have no interest in it. That finale was awful. And now here I am. I loved House of Dragons. It was a fantastic show. So I think the show's going to be very big. I know people are mad about it now. And I get why. The other reasons, JK stuff, I'm not saying don't be mad about that. I'm just saying that to discount it right away, like I see so many people like, this is a bad idea. It's not going to work. I don't know. I think it's going to work. As long as they if they can get to HBO quality levels, I think it's going to work because people are going to tune in. And even then, like Philosopher's Stone, if that's all your touchstone is just the movies, that's now what is that? That's 22 years old.
Right?
Yeah, that's 22 years old. And by the time the show comes out, it'll be like plus 25 years, so it is like things get rebooted all the time. Like right now we had Affleck be Batman, and what, 2 years later Pattinson was Batman. I was like, well, this didn't work, let's reboot it. I know it works different that way with superheroes, but I don't know. But I've seen the reaction be pretty negative, but I think it's gonna be a hit. So
yeah, I'm on that one in particular. I'm just so curious to when we finally get like a trailer, when we get some casting and stuff like that. I'm sure a lot of it will be no names is maybe the way they want to go, but I don't know. Maybe they need to get some like star power in there in order to get it off the ground and get people interested. I wonder if they're gonna stick to that kind of all British actors thing that they had.
That's the rumor, because apparently they pitched doing a French version or something like that to JK, and she said just like to change it up, and apparently she shot it down, said absolutely not. All all the actors are going to be British again, so that's the word.
Yeah, I mean, because if they're for all the kids, I don't know, not that kid actors can't be good, but I feel like kid actors, if you get like American kid actors doing accents and stuff like that, like I don't know, that might be too much to ask for. I think you're gonna have some sketchy situations, especially when each character is gonna have probably a lot more dialogue than like Neville. He's gonna have a ton of content, whereas he only has so much in those first few movies. So Yeah, I don't know. I'm really on the fence on that. I got to see it for myself personally in terms of if I'm interested. I got to if she's writing at all, and then I'm out, like for sure, just because. I
Yeah.
mean, variety of reasons, but also she's just a shitty writer for
Mhm.
like screen. So I think that just gets me not too excited. But the music, I think it's a fine thing to do. They'll have to just because of the quantity, the hours that a TV show is going to need over a movie. You'll think that they'll probably add a lot more to it, and
Yeah.
hopefully they get a really good composer and they able to create some new themes and maybe like what were smaller characters who now have bigger time to shine. Like maybe they'll have their own themes and things like this. So I think it's okay to play on some of that because that is just one of the most iconic themes. It's one of those ones like Pirates of the Caribbean, stuff like that. That's just so ubiquitous with the property at this point. So I think that's fine. You can re-record it, get some new bells and whistles put on it, and still honor what it was in that way. But yeah, I think I'm very curious to see the tone specifically when it comes to. We started in just like the very kind of I don't know, bright and colorful and playful with those movies at the beginning, and it obviously got progressively darker in the tone and whatnot. And Fantastic Beasts is kind of in line with that in a way, and so I'm
Yeah.
curious where they're going to go with this, just in terms of what it looks like and what this CGI looks like, and how I mean, even just the budget that they have for it, and how much magic it's really going to be, or if it's just going to be like. You got a common room set and you have like a classroom set, and we use those for a lot of the time and stuff like that. But yeah, I there obviously is some potential there, and there's a ton of people who are not into that property. Maybe this is a better way for them to get into it. And then yeah, even like when we went through that retro, some of those movies, and particularly the last two, were really really weak when I went back to them. And so I think it's, if it goes the distance, a good chance to potentially redeem some of those arcs and actually have like a pretty good ending for it. It's actually was not really that great. And then some of the other movies too, I think could definitely use a rework, but it'll be hard for me to get past the nostalgia on it. And really, I feel like the chances are pretty low that I will actually like it. But I don't even know if I'm going to give it a chance at this point. I'll have to just wait and see. Which
Yeah.
many years away at this point. So
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think it'll all be for lots of people the trailer, but I think it all comes down the first season because I think the pilot and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Lots of people are going to tune in just for curiosity factor, right? And if they get the kids, I still think the teachers they're going to go after. Not like it's not going to be like Tom Cruise as Dumbledore, but like actors that are well known. It's kind of like
well-known British actor Tom Cruise.
well, yeah, it's kind of like
Les
obviously
Grossman. Tom
it's
Cruise.
it's different maybe for you guys because you were even younger than me. But when I saw Alan Rickman, I'm like, oh, that's the guy from Die Hard. Like I think they'll get a lot of actors like that maybe they aren't the biggest stars, but like, oh, I've seen them in this, and this. Like I like him or her and stuff, or they like. So that's where I think that they'll go after. The kids will all be completely unknowns, obviously, but I think they'll do that. And I think for budget wise, they're gonna go like Game of Thrones. I think they're gonna give it as much money as possible. They're gonna pour money into this because if it works. You got tons of content, and I think
Yeah.
it will. I
You
think
have
it will work.
The roadmap years and years and years down the road.
Oh yeah,
I would say right now, because Travis, you think it's probably going to be a big hit for them, and you're saying that it's probably going to go the distance. Of course, if it bombs in the first season, then that
Could
could
you
end pretty
imagine?
quickly. But my gut is telling me that this thing's not going to go the distance at this point.
Really?
I don't know. Like maybe you get goblet of fire, and then it burns out right there. I don't know. I'll have to
right when they get to
obviously wait and
Voldemort,
see.
they're gonna. Like,
I don't know. To me, that's like a tall task for anyone to just like. Oh yeah, we're just gonna do whatever it is, 7, 8 seasons, 10, one season a year, 10 seasons. I don't know how many they're gonna do. It's a tall task for sure. So I don't know.
yeah. What about you, Kirkland? What do you
lot of money.
think? How do you think this is gonna go? Now it's official.
I think I'm more with you, Travis. I think it is gonna just be a hit. I don't know. I trust the HBO quality as of late with the shows that I've been watching. I really have not been disappointed with just how well made those shows are. I've really liked some, and I feel like I've loved others. So it's been like a pretty high rating so far with my HBO viewing. And yeah, I think the curiosity will be the big one. I am curious just to see like what the drop off is, like just as the show is going on.
Or does it have a Last of Us where each episode did better than the last? Right? Like that's an uncommon
be.
thing, but that did
Yeah.
happen, and I think that's the thing. If this show's better than people think, the people that are like, okay, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
You could have that effect, right? If it's good, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm incredibly curious as to just how this whole thing is gonna go.
What the fuck you doing over there, Taylor? You look like you got a sniper scope on
Don't
your
worry
mic?
about me. Don't worry about me. See any red dots? Just ignore
You
it.
dropped some food on your mic there or something?
It's
Yeah.
all good. It's ancient history.
Yeah, so I'm incredibly curious as to how this just goes in general and the overall feel. If it's like a very divisive show, or if it's just like the vast majority of people are giving it a thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm just curious. I'm curious what that first trailer is gonna be like. I'm curious who they're gonna be casting. Yeah, just a lot of curiosity right now for me, but I don't know what it is. Something is just telling me that I'm gonna really like it. I think it's just the HBO trend as of late. Who knows? Maybe I'm setting myself up for disappointment though with that.
And like to me, this is like it's funny because like Dylan said, like it's hard to do the 10 seasons, and we saw it with Beasts, right? 5 movies. We're doing 5 movies, and they only got to 3, and that's all they got, right? So it has happened to them before. Obviously, not the main Potter things, but it's gonna be interesting to see when this thing gets going. As far as I've lost my train of thought. I literally I thought about Fantastic Beasts, and just like Fantastic Beasts,
That's a good way to clear the brain. Is think about that, and your mind turns to mush.
Just hours of content in my brain. Like, man, we let out like Fantastic Beasts was a thing and stuff, but yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see what they do as far as casting wise. And hey, these kids, if they gotta be ready to go, because these kids are gonna be signed up for a long time. But at the same time, I was some of those Hansi, right? As far as like, 'cause she brought that up, like, oh, kids gonna do this for multiple years. It's like, well, look at what the Stranger Things kids have done, right? Think about how small they were when they started, and sure, the
Now they're
show's
getting
only.
married.
Yeah, now they're getting married, and the show's only been 6 seasons. First, not only 6 is a lot. If they do a season for each book, that's only 2 less than what the HP show would do. And with Stranger Things, not every season's come out a year, right? So they've been locked and stuff like that. So I don't know what they'll do, especially if you're like near those later books. You can kind of smudge them being older because they're like about to graduate and stuff, so they look a little older than whatever. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, but that's what my point was with Fantastic Beasts. Now I've recovered, and if this fails, like I don't know. There's really nothing more you can do now with Harry Potter, like in the TV show, like movie realm. You know, like if Beast fails and you get to like Prisoner of Azkaban and that's done, it's like, well, where do you go? But again, that's why I think, yeah, as long as the show to me is even like a 7 out of 10, it'll go the distance, because you're gonna get that. Oh, who are they gonna cast as Sirius Black? Who's gonna be Voldemort? Who's gonna be Bellatrix? Like every season, you're gonna have new characters coming in. Like who's gonna play fucking what's his name from Chamber of Secrets? I love that character. What's his name? He loses his memory.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
Yeah, Lockhart. Like, who are they gonna get for fucking Lockhart? Like, that's where I feel like as long as the show is, to me, decent, the fans are gonna support it. And like the greatest example to me is look at Walking Dead. That show, the first 3 years was a mega hit. Everyone loved it, and everyone goes, "Yeah, that show's shit now." It still went on for like 9 seasons. You know, like and you look at the ratings, it dropped and dropped and dropped. But as long as it keeps making a profit, which I think Potter will, I think this will get a bunch of people, young people that haven't even read the books. You know, this will be them. I think, like what Dylan, I'll be interested to see what route they go as far as Darkness, because it is on HBO, so I think they will make it more serious. But I still think, obviously, with little kids, I hate to say this because it's like any other TV show. I think Stranger Things is like the benchmark, like that type of, that mixture of very dark situations, but then kids being kids and having fun moments and young hijinks and stuff. Like, they gotta look at Stranger Things, not make it rated R, but like look at Stranger Things and be like, hey, how could we find that balance of dark stuff with
What
werewolves?
if they did make it rated R? That would be a wild.
That would be
wild
bold.
choice.
That Chamber of Secrets.
The snake just
season
ripping
is just gonna
people
be
apart.
insane.
Yeah. And like, to me, if they give it the House of Dragons budget, stuff like the dragons have looked great, so I have no worries about like the basilisk or all these things. Like, I think they'll do a great job with that. And just as of right now, yeah, they just say JK's executive producer. They haven't announced showrunner, stuff like that. That's obviously the next step, so that'll be a big thing. The guy that produced the movies is also producing the series, so you kind of have a touchstone there. So we'll see. But and then yeah, Kirklin, what about any of the, and same thing with Dylan after, any thoughts on the other ones? Another Game of Thrones one, Conjuring, any of those do anything for you? And yes, All in the Game, there was a Big Bang Theory with young Sheldon, but I've never watched a single second of that, other than it's on before wrestling and I just have to mute it because
I see the ads and then I just get angered. Like,
you get angered.
I get angered. I don't know. Not
Damn
my
that
thing.
little
I'm also a
Sheldon.
Big Bang hater as well, Travis.
Yeah.
I want
Not a fan.
your camp there. yeah, I don't know what it is about horror TV shows, but I just like don't care. I
Not
don't
your
know. Like
bag.
I feel like to me, there's still so many horror movies I have yet to see
That's
in my
fair.
life, and I don't know. I can't really see a reason why I'd want to spend so much time on a show. Now maybe if it's something like I do have some interest in checking out Ash vs Evil Dead now that we've done that retro, and I want to see some more there.
It's on
Yeah, like
Netflix.
I guess I've seen everything. Well, I don't have Netflix, remember?
Shit, sorry.
Not anymore. And so I guess I've seen all the It stuff, but like, yeah, I could not care less about a TV show for that. Conjuring, I've seen some of those movies, but once again, I don't think I need to spend 8-9 hours, whatever it is, for how long those TV shows are to get engulfed in that world. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe the It one, when I see a trailer that I could get interested and maybe want to check it out. I'd like it if it was like a shorter thing. Like I think a 4 or 5, 6 episode long thing could actually be really cool. That could be a good format for what's going on there. But I'm curious what the time period and stuff is. And then I haven't seen House of Dragons or Game of Thrones really, so no thoughts there.
For Pennywise, or for what is it? It's Welcome to Derry. I can't remember, but it's like I can't. It's far back. It's one of those like I can't remember.
Not a
I'll tr-
prequel, but it's like before the events of the films, I guess.
Yeah, it is a prequel. I'll find out the era and stuff like that. I don't want to say 1940s, but I feel like it's something to do with
It's
that.
in like that Carney era, right? Like from those old photos that we saw from the movie.
I think some of it is, but I don't know if the whole thing is. Let's see,
Okay.
era. Let's see. Welcome to Derry will take place in 1960. So the first one, like obviously you went from 80s to present day, and this will be the 60s and stuff like that. So, but I think they will touch upon. Well, there you go, S-Bubs out of nowhere. The rumor is it's 60s. Yeah, I think they'll touch upon the carnival stuff because if it's a TV show, you have to. But I'm with Dylan that I think 6 episodes is like a good barometer for that show. I think that's exactly it. Especially, I know Dylan, not a fan of the TV movie, but you think about that, how it's longer. Really, just divide those up in like episodes, right? That's what I feel like they're gonna do. And for me, I really think that I hate to say it, I feel like the success of the show, it's not completely dependent on Bill Skarsgård, but I think if they don't have him, that's going to be a huge blow to that show. I think if you get him back right away, people are like, okay, I liked him in the movies. I'll at least check out an episode or two. I could see if it's not him, people go, man, like it's a new Pennywise, and you get the comparisons. Maybe he's great, but I think I honestly think he's a must for the show to like even do well. Like it could be the greatest show, but like look at Hannibal. We all loved Hannibal, but that got shit ratings, right? They still for 3 years held on, hope it was gonna get better and better, but you didn't have like anything pulling in the general audience. And I think if you get Bill at least, and he's an even bigger star now than he was during the It stuff, it'll at least help. So.
Man, I can't believe It Chapter 2 was 2019. It feels like
Yeah.
so much longer ago than that to me.
Yeah, and it's probably because that was the year like we had Endgame, Rise of Skywalker. There's something else in there too. Like we got all these big movies, and it kind of disappointed and stuff. But
When that one come out, it was in like the summer, wasn't it? Tail end of summer, or was it more in the fall?
I feel like it was an October thing. But
the
that's
first one was
probably
October
just-
for sure. I don't know about the second one. Was it September? Maybe it was after Comic-Con because I know we got a trailer for Comic-Con. So maybe it's September, October-ish, the second one. So
It makes sense.
sounds about right.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, top my priority list for the ones that you list off there is definitely the Game of Thrones one. I love the vast majority of Game of Thrones TV show, and then House of the Dragon just completely surprised me in all the positive ways. So to have another opportunity to go back to Westeros, the
fourth
location
one.
the fourth one.
Because we got Jon Snow, we have that something about the Battle
Right.
of the Dragons happening, and then obviously House of Dragons, and then we got this. That's 4 prequel spin-offs going on. They're banking hard on that, and it makes sense. House of Dragon was a massive hit for him, so it worked out. So
Yeah, and I think there's so much just content there. Like there's so much history just sprinkled like throughout all of Game of Thrones that of course like they're touched upon it with the House of the Dragon. We saw that story that was hinted in the Game of Thrones stuff, and just get the opportunity to go back to Westeros. I'm totally down for. I love that show. HBO quality was up there, so yeah, that one's top of my list. I feel like I haven't seen many like horror TV shows. Definitely haven't finished many. Midnight Mass is the top tier one that I have not finished. But yeah, I don't know. The Conjuring one, I'm like Dylan. I don't think I've seen like more than maybe 2 of those Conjuring movies, and there's probably like 18 or something now in their multiverse. I don't know. There's so
Devil
many that
May Do
I
It, right?
feel like I forget that like some of these like
You know
nuns
some I haven't seen?
and stuff like that. They're just like connected to this universe. It always blows me away. But it's cool that it's it's an established just multiverse now. That's cool
Yeah.
for sure. What was the other one that you? It. Yeah.
It.
So
Welcome to Derry. Terrible title, by the way.
I'm intrigued. I won't rush to it. I'll do what I've been doing with it. I watched those movies like years afterwards when I got mentally prepared for it. But yeah, I think especially with 6 episodes, I think
That's not confirmed. That's just what I would say
That was our
would be
hope.
best. Yeah, that's our
But
hope.
but
yeah.
if it is
Geek
6
versus hope.
episodes, it's that's like a perfect length. So I agree with-
22 minute 40, 22 44-minute episodes.
Oh my god!
Phil
Oh,
Skarsgård
no.
getting
I wonder what
big
the
paycheck.
budget would be.
Not doing those
Wow.
midnight reviews.
No. Yeah, only give me you were right. Wasn't Will Poulter originally cast as Pennywise? He was, and he was also originally cast as Elrond in Rings of Power, and he dropped out of both of them. So it's funny that he gets these big roles and he gets like cold feet.
Too
but
busy
he-
with Guardians or something.
He's Guardians, yeah. No, I don't know what it was with Pennywise. For Pennywise, apparently the rumors he just didn't feel it was right once he got into it. And Elrond, I think the rumors also he found out how long they were going to be filming over there, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not doing that." And then he left the production because they were in wherever they filmed for a long time that first season. They were batting down the hatches. So yeah, but Adam Warlock come. Yeah, I already spoke about. Like I said, Welcome to Derry. I think that's a stupid title. They should change that because I don't think it's a big enough franchise for someone to see Welcome to Derry to right go. Oh,
I agree.
That's
Dairy
that's,
Girls, new Dairy Girls.
Yeah, it's not to me. That's not like the way the Friday 13th show is gonna be called, like Crystal Lake. Even that, so there might be some people like, oh, they have to think about. But at least Crystal Lake, go, okay, that's Jason, the campsite. Welcome to Derry. It's just like, all
We
right.
should hope. Someone like, oh, Crystal Lake. That sounds like a good little kids show. Puts on for their kids. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, don't do that, new father. And then, yeah, the Game of Thrones one, we'll see. Hopefully it goes through. Well, I guess I hope it goes through if it's good, because there was a 5th prequel show announced, and they actually filmed. This was way back. They filmed a pilot for it, but they didn't like it, and then they just canceled the series. So it has happened before where they just look at it, and notoriously the same things. Game of Thrones, the very first pilot episode ever for it, they shot it, spent a bunch of money on it, and then they reshot the entire thing because they just didn't like it. And there was like another actress cast as what's her name?
Daenerys?
Danny?
Daenerys, thank you. Yeah, Danny. Were you gonna say something, Taylor?
No, Daenerys.
Okay, no, I thought you can't tell with your mouth, but and then what's the other one? Conjuring. I think the smart thing to do with that one is they should just make it an anthology show. You have that house with all these different things haunted in there, stuff like that. Make each episode. I don't know if you can get the Warrens, like the actors, back, but do something like that where each episode is a mini anthology episode about ghosts and ghouls and goblins and stuff like that, and then they catch them and put them in this house, and you're good to go. Something like that, you know. Again, I don't know what the pull is. This is what you got to do for streaming series. Like, I don't know. Those movies do well. I don't know what the audience is asking for a Conjuring TV show. Like, I'll be very curious to see. That to me could, and maybe it's just designed as a one and done, right? Maybe it's just supposed to be like, hey, we're gonna do a miniseries, 60, see what happens. But I just don't know if people are dying to see a Conjuring show. But that's what you got to do when you got a streaming series, right? You got to pump out that content. So, and speaking of pumping out that content, I'll get the Creature Commandos cast. So yeah, they announced this, and again, as we've said before, that the idea is that these actors and actresses are going to be portraying the characters in the real life as well. Oh man, somebody got some terrible layouts here on websites and everything. Where is it here? So you got so Frank Grella, he's gonna be Rick Flag Sr. He was the guy that played Crossbones in the MCU, so he's jumping over the MCU, so they're or to the DCU. I don't know what's happening again with continuity because he's playing Rick Flag Sr. and I don't know. I don't think he's that much older than Rick Flag in the Suicide Squad movies, but I digress. You got Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus. You got Mara Bakova as Alana Rostovic. She's the girl from Bodies, Borat 2 and stuff like that. You got Sean Gunn's going to be playing Weasel and G.I. Robot. Zoe Zhao, not Chloe Zhao. Zoe Zhao is Nina Majewski. Steve Agee is going to reprise the role from Dr. John Acomo's from Peacemaker, and then David Harbour is going to be Frankenstein. So they announced that. Looks like that's next year. David Harbour, another guy who's in MCU and DCU now. He's crossing over at the same time because he's going to be in Thunderbolts and this, and it kind of makes sense. You look at him; he's a big, stocky guy. So I'm like, he could play a Frankenstein monster and stuff like that.
I mean,
so.
whatever that actor, she's playing Cosmo too, right? So
She's playing Cosmo, yeah. So that's gonna be James Gunn. And he's even said that. He's even said that he's going to be He's talked to a lot of his Guardians cast members about coming to the DCU. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. I like it, and like I like variety too at the same time. So I don't know if I need I don't need to see every Guardians member, Batista, Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana in the DC. I'm fine if they go do some different things now, but
There's gonna be certain acting schools now. It's just comic book acting school.
100%. Funded by
cool and
Feige.
attractive.
Yeah, exactly. So
quips, one-liners.
Kirkland, you're the most excited for that. Does that cast do anything for you?
I like just hearing some familiar faces. I feel like I'm not the greatest with certain actors' names, but there's some there that you're listing off that I could still picture them. So it's like nice. I'm excited to get someone like Alan Tudyk on there. He's got a fun voice. So I'm just excited to see the show. Knowing it's like a year away now, we're getting casting and whatnot for it. We're just more information is getting me excited. I hope we get these little droplets of Creature Commando news at least every quarter. I'll take that.
Every quarter, you think?
I'll take that.
I don't know if what you get next quarter, but I imagine soon you'll start to get your teasers and stuff like that. Obviously, it's next year. It could be late next year, right?
Creature Commando, the video game.
We could be. That's the video. He just goes full in on this. Like he does like a Batman versus Creature Commando. Like, he's just like, that's James Gunn's first pitch is, I need Creature Commandos everywhere, So
that's why it's in like his first stage of his new DCU.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the cast is fun. We'll see. I think it'll be like it's one of these things that like I'm not trying to disparage the actors. They're good. They have these careers, but it's one of these things when they go, okay, they're gonna be in the animation and movies. All these actors to me are like, okay, I could see that, because I felt like there's certain actors that might go like, I'm not gonna voice the cartoon. Like you can get someone else to do that. So if that is like a big thing for James Gunn, that he needs the actors to be in both live action and animated, all these people like Harbour and Tudyk and Sean Gunn and Frank Grillo, I'm like, yeah, I could see them being fine with doing both and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to There's people I like in the cast, so that's all I can ask for. It's like, cool. I wish they did do more with Crossbones. I know that's what he's been going off about this week. Like, yeah, Feige originally said there's a lot more planned with Crossbones, but it didn't happen because obviously he got blown up in Civil War. So I wish they did do more with him. But hey, he's gonna go to DCU and do some stuff over there. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know much about these characters in DC, so it's hard for me to comment on
me either, man. These are deep cuts. These yeah.
Yeah, so it's hard to pinpoint if they're good for that role or anything, but I think it's a solid list all around. David Frankenstein, you said?
Yeah.
That's great. Like that is rock solid casting. I know who Frankenstein is. That transcends boundaries here. So it's interesting. But I also do like that there is some people here that I've never heard their name before. So hopefully they're good, and it'll be cool to see them in the live action, get their voice here in the meantime. So yeah, I think it's pretty solid list.
Taylor, anything on the Commandos?
Yep, like you guys, I know nothing about them. Very, very curious. Mr. Frank, just kind of jumping over. I remember seeing like some articles about him talking about he wished that more happened with his character, or that he didn't like how they handled Crossbones.
Oh,
in the
that
MCU.
Frank. I thought you were like shortening Frankenstein. So when I was like,
So did
no.
I.
So I was like, what is David Harbour still in the MCU and he's complaining about it? That's a bold move.
No. The other thing too, like you and I saw like Brent, everyone was talking about just like, oh yeah, we knew he was coming, or we knew he was gonna be. I wasn't sure, like you guys knew he was going to play that character, or
Pretty
knew
much,
he was gonna be
yeah.
in DC. And what
Well, he
stemmed
spoiled that he was in He just gave away that he was in DC a couple weeks ago, and everyone just looked at Frick Flake Sr. and looked at Frank Grillo and like, well, that's who he's gonna be playing. Like, it just felt very obvious as far as like the look, and they'll gray him up a little bit, but
Cool.
Yeah, there you go. All right, let's take our next ad break, and then we'll talk about I guess they showed other teasers, but the biggest teaser there, Penguin. We'll talk about some other teasers. We'll be right back. And we're back. So this was one of those unique ones. It's not as like put together as the Batman, because if you guys remember the very first Batman trailer, Dylan wouldn't, because I guess you didn't see it. But before they showed it, it was like a in production. So they're trying to say like, oh, like it's a trailer, but it's not like we're only 6 weeks into shooting, so this is what we got. Even though that was like a full trailer, that's what they said.
Was that the live watch along that we did?
Yeah,
where I'm, like, in the bomb shelter.
Yeah. Oh, I dropped them. I ruined the joke. But yeah, Kirklin's.
You're gonna recreate it.
Yeah. Okay, you gotta ask me dark
My
too.
proximity to the camera, that was the and I had glasses on, which made it, and I was like sweaty too. I was just really into the
Oh, I
trailer.
got that too.
times.
Hang on. What do you think about the Penguin trailer, Kirkland?
I liked it a lot. It was cool to just get taken back to this world of Gotham. I think they did a really good job at Okay, Elton John. That's not the glasses I had. You look like Elton.
Love
good.
it.
I like it.
glasses.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I think they did a good job of just having the feel of
Whoa.
Gotham again. It take those off. You're distracting me.
They're Madison's, actually.
I thought they looked like fucking Madison's glasses. I wasn't gonna say anything because they're probably just fucking Emily's glasses or something. How the heck did you get those?
That's a time for another tale.
Oh right, she left them in your jacket. Oh shit, yeah, that is a time.
The
for
same
another tale.
jacket that guy came over and
I was trying to sell my.
Does it come with the glasses?
Yeah, I was trying to sell my jacket to Madison.
oh no, those are Madison's. Those are Madison's.
The reaction video just popped up on my feed a few days ago. Oh, it's a classic. Like I said, yeah, Kirkland looks like he's being held hostage. So
But yeah, I think this is a fun little teaser trailer. I would have wanted more, but it's another thing. I'm so excited to see this project. I love Colin Farrell's performance of him. I saw like just an image of him as Cobblepot, and I was just staring at it. And I'm like, man, I still don't see Colin Farrell. Like I know he's in there somewhere, but like, goddamn, they did such a good job with the prosthetic.
imagine if he actually isn't. It's the biggest con. Like they say it's Colin Farrell, but this whole time it's not. It's not him at all. They just want another name for the Batman.
It's like the Prestige or something. He's got like a body
Yeah, it's like the same way. I don't know if you guys knew this, but for all the video games and toys, I can't remember his name, but Tom Hanks' brother does all the stuff for Woody. So it's actually not Tom Hanks. It's like Bill Hanks or something. Yeah, so he does all the other
Is,
stuff.
is he also an actor, or did he just like?
He just does the Woody voice
That's his gig.
because he
Go on
sounds
his
like
Hanks
Tom.
pays him all this money.
Yeah, because he
different
sounds like his
voice.
brother. So yeah, wouldn't that be great? There's like a Peter Farrell out there, and he's just like getting all these gigs as
Do you
Penguin.
think Tom? Do you think he gave him like the go ahead? He's like, yeah, go ahead. Or do
Oh,
you think he
yeah.
just- Okay.
Oh yeah, no. Apparently it was his idea because apparently they pitched him and he was like, yeah, I don't really want to do that, but like my brother sounds identical to me. Like I bet he would do it, and he gets a bunch of money from it, so it worked out great. Like
Yeah.
so good guy. So
I
what were
need
you
a
doing?
sibling with an iconic voice. That's a great gig right there.
Yeah, it really is, right? You just gotta.
Easy
Well,
money.
they also gotta have your voice too. I don't know if Haley has your voice, so you're kind of. I think
No,
you're kind
yeah, I
of out
wouldn't
there.
really work with my sister, but I could try.
Did this do anything for you?
Not really. Not really. I think I'm kind of in. I'm in for the movies for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I need the extra content. If there was a certain character, there is certain characters that could grab me, but Penguin's not one of them. I'm happy for everyone. It seems like it's being done with a lot of care and love, and it'll just kind of add to that universe. But not really for me. So I think I'll be skipping on this. But once again, it looks solid, for what it is. I mean, this is kind of a weird trailer. It's like behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
Mixed with like here's the sets. It's kind of strange, but yeah, I think it seems like it's gonna deliver what everyone wants it to be. So yeah.
Taylor, were you ready to raw dog this trailer?
Oh yeah, the classic raw dog and penguin. I think that this will be something that I'm gonna enjoy. There's something about this world, just in a TV show aesthetic, but not the sense where it's like a CW level or a Gotham. I feel like this is still gonna maintain the Batman vibe that film created, and I doubt we'd ever get a Pattinson in here unless they confirm that or said he's gonna cameo
Well,
in here.
funny enough, go to, as usual, Patreon, and you can ask any question at any tier if you join. Mr. Matty Sags asked, also for the Penguin, well, that's the second question, which I don't know if we'll be able to answer. But for Penguin, I remember reading Pattinson was rumored to be appearing as Bruce Wayne. Was that confirmed? Is there a Wayne logo on the car in the trailer? I don't know about that. I didn't dissect it that much, but yeah, there was. So they've been recently filming in New York, and Pattinson is in New York, so obviously that created a whole hubbubaloo. And then there was this weird report that came out that he could only play Bruce Wayne because DC didn't have the TV rights to Batman, but then James Gunn said that's false. So I feel like him saying that's false is kind of like tipping the. I feel like he shouldn't answer that. So not confirmed, but I think it's going to happen. I think that would be huge for the show. I think they'd say that for the finale, but I think that will be. I think it's going to happen. Even if we just get Bruce Wayne, I think you're going to get Pattinson in the show, and that'd be very cool because there's been no Batman TV actor that's done that to be like on the big screen and then the silver screen, you know?
I'll watch that episode or those scenes on YouTube.
The YouTube 2.5 minutes, to set up why Penguin's in jail and the Batman 2 and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, no, what I like about this most is it's kind of always my worry when you have a big screen, then you're going to the TV screen and stuff like that, or the silver screen. Just what I like is just the colors, the environment, everything looks, and even like the quality of the film, the stuff that wasn't behind the scenes, it looked really good. It looked like a feature film, so it wasn't one of these like, oh, it feels like a massive step down to where I feel like we've seen that sometimes in MCU and Stars, right? Where if there's some CGI somewhere like, oh, this is a little off, you kind of lose some of that, like less so with the MCU. I think more with Star Wars, where my first season of Mandalorian, if there's stuff that looked a little weaker and takes me out because I'm so used to the Star Wars stuff, especially in the sequel trilogy, looking so good. But the vibe was there. I'm very curious. We don't have an episode count. I think it's rumored to be 8. I'm just very curious of how they're going to have Penguin be the main lead of an entire 8-episode thing. And like everyone says it, like, oh, it's gonna be like Sopranos, you're following like a mob boss, right? So I get that. It's just gonna be very interesting. It's quite a task because it's not like they painted him as like a sympathetic character in the Batman. He kind of was a piece of shit. It's not like if you're following someone that's like, oh, they're bad but they're kind of misunderstood. It's like, no, this is just a guy that wants power. But everything I saw, I loved. We got multiple casts. Didn't get to see Clancy Brown here, but we got lots of cast members in here I like a lot, and I'm just very excited to see. And I love that they're just marketing shit of the Batman saga, all this stuff. It's even called The Penguin. So I kind of like, I hope if we get any other spinoffs, it's always the something. I kind of like that little kind of, identifier. So it kind of was above my expectations actually, because I thought it was gonna be like a little lower. Not lower tier because it's still HBO, but just like I didn't expect it to look exactly like the Batman, and that's a great thing. So, and I love the world. I think that's one of the best things about the Matt Reeves Batman universe is Gotham. He made quite a good character in itself. So with that, we got again Maroni, who has ties to Bruce Wayne's parents. So I think there's gonna be some fun little stuff where, like Dylan said, I don't think you'll have to watch it, but I think it'll be like a good companion piece of, hey, if you do really like Colin Farrell's Penguin, or you do really want to know more about this Gotham stuff, here it is. So, and I'm excited that we kind of knew it was last year, but or last year we got it last year. We kind of knew it was next year, but it was good to get that like confirmed. And again, it's good buffer. We get Penguin next year, and then the Batman the year after. So, and yeah, I think Passon will be a given. I think that'll be a fun episode to review and stuff. So look out for that. We'll be doing some reviews. Another thing we'll be reviewing is, people are talking about in the chat, which we'll see if everybody agrees, is the Continental. We got a 60-second teaser here, just showing off the environment, just showing off, the Continental, of course. And I'll go first because I don't have much to say. I was disappointed in 2 ways with it. One, and much like, I'll refer to chat here. All in Game says you can tell Continental felt very TV. Yeah, you can tell Stahelski isn't directing, says Bubs. That's when, to me, when it was watching the Penguin teaser to this teaser, the Penguin felt like, okay, this feels very equivalent to the Batman, where this did not feel equivalent to the John Wick series. It did feel like it was missing something. And I remember the Continental, I was like, oh, the coolest thing is about it being, it's like in the 70s, right? Or something like that. I was like, oh, I can't wait to see that aesthetic of the Continental back then. It just felt like they went to Party City and got like some, like even like the stuff that's supposed to be 70s, it didn't really feel that 70s. So I'll still watch it, give it a chance, but I was disappointed in that. And also I was super disappointed. I did not know this at all till it dropped. He's not on the teaser at all. That apparently Mel Gibson's a big actor in this one, and that's a big bummer for me because I'm not a fan of Mel Gibson, also with the shit he's done in the past. So I was like, I get it. Like, I feel like he's a guy that, everyone gets those second chances. There's some people that go, I don't feel like you've really I feel you haven't owned up to everything you've done in the past. So I kind of got hit with the 1-2 punch today of it didn't look the greatest, and I found there's actors that I don't really want to watch stuff with is in it. So yeah, my hype definitely I won't say took a nosedive, but it definitely fell down a couple flights of stairs. So
I'm in a similar boat. I just left the trailer a bit confused. A bit confused at like just kind of the creative vision of it. Like the music choice was incredibly bizarre to me too. Did you guys feel that as well?
it just didn't. It didn't feel like John Wick. That's what I'd say. That's
Yeah.
how I don't know, bizarre, but it just didn't feel like
It was too,
exactly
like-
John Wick.
It was like lighthearted and fun, kind of. And
It was like
it's
distracting me from what was going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was weird.
Because obviously in those movies, there's a lot of like, just intense like techno music and that
Yeah.
sort of stuff. But it's still not like fun and happy, and those doesn't elicit those sorts of vibes. So I just found it a little bit bizarre. I know this is a teaser, but like it's a trailer, and they're just using that moniker for it. I guess there was nothing in here that really hooked me. They're showing a bunch of different characters, but I didn't feel like attached to any of them. There's not really like dialogue. It's just kind of like quick snippets here or there. So yeah, I wasn't really excited for this thing coming into it, even hot off the retrospective and watching the new movie, which I really enjoyed. And then actually seeing it, I was like, yeah, I don't think this will be a stellar show. I get the part that does interest me is what All in the Game just mentioned is the 3-parterness of it as kind of 3 hour-and-a-half long episodes. I like that structure. I think it's kind of interesting. And that makes it maybe a bit more palatable as well. It's like 4.5 hours of content ish. So that could be a good structure for it. But yeah, hopefully they have the budget and they don't have to go to too many of those Party City stores, Travis, to decorate the set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I agree with the chat. Just the CW vibe. I feel like I've never really seen a CW show, but I know what that vibe is,
yeah.
and that's kind of what I was seeing from it. I did not even I didn't even realize it was 70s till like I knew beforehand, but I forgot about it while we were watching the trailer, just because the trailer didn't do a good job, in my opinion, at capturing that 70s essence. Not that I was around at the time, but I've seen enough things to be able to identify the 70s, and I don't know, that was very much missing. I don't know, something from it, and I knew this wasn't going to be like the Keanu thing, like we weren't going to be having John Wick, but I was still expecting to really feel the world that was John Wick, and I didn't really feel it here. So yeah, a little bit disappointed with this one. I don't know. Hopefully I'll kind of the next trailer with more on there will be able to kind of win me over. But as of right now, especially like what Dylan said, like we just did the retro, which I love, like basically all the movies in there. I absolutely love John Wick 4. So I was like, I'm at like an all-time high for this, and they just, I don't know, it seemed like an easy task to like get me at least a little bit excited for this, but it didn't succeed.
All right, Taylor, usually the positive one. You got a positive spin on this?
Rein it in, baby.
Yeah.
Man, it's definitely a transition getting to this prequel, obviously, and back in the time period, Continental, all that kind of stuff. But not gonna lie, I was getting super excited seeing like those twins, seeing the guy with the samurai sword and just the katana, and just everything that was popping off in here. I think we're due for some really, really stellar action, and they got some really cool things lined up. It just felt really neat to just take in being at the bottom of the barrel and seeing the Continental, and just like, okay, how is Winston gonna kind of like rise up and take over as the manager, basically. I'm very excited to kind of see it, and I think the exclusivity of it being a limited time series is going to be pretty nice. There was
3-part event, not limited time series. It's not like a Nintendo Mario
Yeah, I was gonna
All
say.
Star where you can only watch it for 2 months and it disappears off a Peacock.
Yeah, true. I am down for the aesthetic, although it does have that TV show vibe.
Yeah. CW
Yeah.
vibe.
I don't know if I go as far as CW. CW feels a little bit more cartoony at times.
Yeah.
But this felt a little bit more like R-rated cartoon. So
Okay. So adult CW.
budget.
Yeah,
title.
adult CW.
Yeah,
don't
yeah. I
let
think
the
it's more a
kids watch
budget
it.
thing, but that's okay. All right, I'll let you. You can start off with. I feel like this is more up your boat here. The last voyage of the Demeter. I think that's how you say it, right? The Demeter.
I think so.
Sure.
Which one's this? I'm just kidding. I watched that trailer. This was fucking amazing. Oh. This was so good.
Trickster. You trickster,
You
you.
got him.
Yeah, I feel like this is specifically a Taylor trailer, and I didn't watch it.
Holy smokes. Just when you think that vampires are kind of just, well, I never thought that. Fuck, I love vampires left, right, and center.
Just when you think, actually, that's a lie. I never thought that.
God damn, I'm surprised. Like I never thought of this as like a story before. It's so intriguing. Just isolated, old timey on a boat, and what better thing to throw at your crew than transporting Dracula? And this has been something that was kind of introduced in a few other things. Like again, he's not necessarily Dracula, but one of my favorite shows, The Strain, they had that same kind of thing. Like, hey, they're transporting like this main vampire elder over through through an airplane, and again, here we are transporting Dracula over through a ship. So I like how they're tackling that trend, transferring transitional storyline and then using this as a horror setting. I think there's so much that they can really tackle here. It's going to be crazy. This reminds me, honestly, of oh my goodness, Dylan, help me out. What's it called?
Is it a game? Is it a movie?
It's a game.
Return
like
to the
Dark Pictures anthology.
Okay.
It reminds
Is there
me
a
of one of
boat
those.
one?
Oh, it's in the cave with the soldiers, right?
Not the cave with the soldiers. I was thinking more or less the actual boat one with you're on the ship and
I
there's
didn't
like
know
the
there was one on a
undead.
ship. Oh my
Me
God.
either.
It was like a.
You're the
I'm
Dark
pretty sure it was
Pictures
a
guy.
Ship or a lighthouse.
I've never played any of those games, but
Dylan, help me out.
we
Any
talked about
video
them on
game,
side quests at one point. But I did not know there was a boat one actually. Is it
Whose
old
boat
timey
was
like
it?
this, or is it like a yacht? Yeah.
No, it was like an old, abandoned kind of ship. Not the Devil in Me. Yeah, it's one of them. It's the one that actually pulled me into the Dark Pictures, and then I got into
okay.
Little Hope and stuff. But it was either like an abandoned ship that was all haunted up, or it was like a lighthouse. But it was very naval sea themed. And this reminds me of, just in general, a Dark Pictures game. And I think that we can have a lot of fun with this. The fact that Dracula is rocking those wings, that was cool. The guy trying to light his little fucking oil blubber
Why?
lantern, and the vampire Dracula's behind him. Holy
He's standing
shit.
in the fucking it's pouring down on him. He's not gonna get that match lit. Like, what is he thinking?
That's that whale oil back in the day, man. That stuff
love
just is
whale oil.
nuclear.
Oh yeah.
It's powerful
done
shit,
well.
man.
Yeah.
Powered a whole city once.
Yeah, I will happily watch this at home. That's the route I take from it. I love the idea. I love the old timey city. I love the idea of just you're on a boat with Dracula. It does beg the question to me though, of because they do say we got to make it to daylight. Does the whole thing just take place at one night, or is it over multiple things? Because I feel like if it's over multiple, how do they not find Dracula when you would assume that when the sun comes up, he hides in the boat, right? And there's not many places to hide in the boat, so
It's a
I
big
feel
boat.
no, they
Maybe
have
he's an aquatic Dracula though.
he's in the water.
They
Yeah,
were
maybe
wings,
he
they're
can-
flippers.
Yeah. he's
So
got some
then-
flippers.
But then why would he go in the water and then just
vampiric
keep being
flippers.
around this boat? Why wouldn't he just go elsewhere?
Well, because there's a lot of fresh meat on that boat.
But
Yeah.
a city, there's even more fresh meat. There's entire.
Well, maybe he needs to
can't-
ride the boat to get to a new city.
I guess there's a lot of issues
Lot
I
of
have
questions.
with.
Gotta watch
with
the movie
yeah,
to find
There's,
out.
my
there's
ho-
certain rules with vampires, not movie rules, but actual rules.
What do they think of water? Do vampires care about water?
Probably not a fan.
no one
They don't
knows.
drink.
they don't
it.
need it, right? And what rules are you referring to?
Well, the sunlight,
Everybody knows
the
the rules,
steak,
Travis.
the silver.
Okay, what does
Look
that
at
do?
says
Not
not movie
inviting them
vampires, too.
in.
Oh yeah,
But
never
what-
invite him in. Yeah.
What does that have? What do you mean? Don't invite him in?
Well, if a vampire's that
You know about
knocks on
that?
your door, you do not invite them into the home.
They have
to
to be
be
invited
invited
in.
in.
Remember
What if
what
they
we
wanna
do in the
buy
shadows?
What if they want to
And
buy
they're-
my jacket?
No, remember and what we do in the shadows, and they're trying to get in the club, but they have to be invited in. They can't get in otherwise.
Right. Okay. So gave me all
Great
these lists of you gave me all these lists of points that didn't answer my question of if he's just hiding on the boat in daytime. Why couldn't they just nuke this fucking guy?
Well, I mean, we don't know exactly. Like,
hiding
I
in the
think there was a
rafters.
gun, maybe like a flintlock pistol, but like I'm sure that they're very ill-equipped with what they have to deal with.
Strangle him.
You can't strangle Dracula. Are you kidding?
He's super.
I'm never
strong.
going vampire hunting with you.
No.
I just mean like he's like they show them with guns, they show them the other thing there's fire. Like if it's daytime and he's just in the bottom of the boat, I'm gonna be really pissed if these characters the whole day don't do anything. They're just like, well, we gotta make it to the next city. You know, like
I'm gonna
it's
say
just-
it takes
it's-
place over one day. and
I
you don't
hope
worry
so,
about that.
but the trailer wasn't making it look like because they're like at daylight he disappears. That would like insinuate that they've been through this like one night. So we'll see what happens. But
The other
There
big
was
thing,
that
too-
shot of
He's
him
too
crawling like
fast.
on the roof of the boat. So I feel like that definitely is gonna happen of him hiding out in the innards.
I
Gotta
think
take them
it,
down. Start
it-
chopping the wood, like not in the bottom,
Start
to the
sinking their
hole.
boat.
No, not the bottom, but chop where obviously there would be like the deck, like there'd be where you stand on the deck, right, and then below that would be the boat area. Just start chopping that all, so the sun's gonna fucking burn them out. You know, like if there's no roof for him to
Damn,
crawl
that's
on,
a lot of
what's he
damage.
Get
doing?
Travis
shit,
on this
though.
boat right
But then we
now.
know
Do you want to
Dracula's
die? Do you
also
want to die to the
immune.
Dracula?
We know some Draculas are immune to sunlight though, because he's
Oh,
the first.
but
Right?
why is
So
he
again,
hiding?
These
Why is he
rules, these
hiding?
rules. Well, you know, he likes the darkness. The other thing that you have to take into consideration too,
That's probably a
is,
line in the
Sleep with
movie.
the light on.
when
He
when
likes
shit
the
goes topsy turvy on you here, when people that are bit start turning into like juvenile vamps and stuff like that,
Which definitely
then
happens in this movie.
It does
'cause we
have
see
you see
one
someone burn
yeah.
it, yeah. So then that kind of throws a wrench in it too. So it does. I will give you that. I have to see how many days kind of unfolds here. But the
It's a
first
full
day,
month.
the first day, they don't know what they're dealing with. So how
Yeah.
like what are they looking for? They're looking for like a boar or like a wolf or something on deck.
A
Who
boar?
knows? A boar. You know those pigs are ruthless back in the
They
day.
think they think there's just a random pig that like swam
never know.
swam
They're
across.
stupid back then, Travis. Come on. They didn't have the internet.
Apparently, a pig must have got on board while we're mid
Well, they have a bunch of
sail.
livestock on board.
It's a
They probably
boar.
have a bunch of
yeah,
stuff.
they have
No
livestock. Exactly. Yeah. So something was killing their livestock.
Fair
It's gonna be a long
enough.
trip,
Okay.
right?
Could've been
Months
a
on
boar.
the water.
Yeah.
They gotta have some food going on.
And this is what I expect this movie to be. I expect some dumb things to happen. We go, what happened here? But the horror family just goes, okay, it's old timey. It's on a boat, and you got Dracula. I'm in. I don't need. I feel like we've seen 8 million trailers of just like, what are we dealing with? And always some character goes, we called him Dracula. I'm done with that. I wish it wasn't actually Dracula. I wish it was just a vampire. Like, I don't need to be fucking the Dracula, because I just feel like it's such a trope of it's Dracula. It's like, okay, we get it. Like, there's other vampires. Just like,
Fucking Dracula.
well, it's always just that trailer line.
Morbius.
He's known as Dracula. Like, all this shit. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, fine. We're probably going to get that
It
blade
gives
too.
shivers though. It gives shivers.
No, it
when you
didn't.
hear
I was
that.
like, of
Dracula,
course
it's
it's
like,
Dracula.
It's the
Yeah.
original.
Anyway, this is how it began on the boat. But anyways, well, I do like the design they're going with Dracula. He looks very, Kirklin appreciates this, very Midnight Massy type of vampire bloodsucker. Like, that's the vampires I like, with the ears, and they got that smooth, gross skin and the wings. So I think it's going to be fun. And I think the only where I have, though, is that it's in August, which sometimes notoriously is a movie that either January or August, studios just dump movies because they don't really believe in them. So like, just put it in August near the end of the summer season. So the only way I will see this, because there's not too many movies out in August other than Blue Beetle, is if this thing gets like rave reviews. People say, oh no, this actually is a really great horror movie. You'll have lots of fun. But I think it's going to be rocking like a 40 to 50 on Rotten Tomatoes. I think everyone will say the same thing. Either like it's really bad, not really bad, like it's like just like generic, but hopefully enough people say like, oh, I had a good time. That like if it could reach, not so much for Kirkland, but if it can reach like 65 levels for me, that works for me. So yeah, that's where I am on this. But yeah, I'm interested that I will watch it this year. So
Go ahead.
This must be like an actual Dracula story though, because I've heard like this vampire tale of them transporting like a coffin or something, and they didn't know there was a vampire in it.
that was just Taylor when he was drunk one night telling you that story. Like, I was on
Well,
this
no,
boat.
there's a fantastic character from Warhammer. Actually, he's like he's a vampire pirate, which is a great combo. And then
Vampire.
That's cool.
his origin is basically this, where they're like transporting a coffin. They didn't realize it was the vampire lord, and he just popped off and killed everyone on the ship. that's probably how this one's gonna end. But
Yeah.
I love that like origin story. So as soon as I was watching this trailer, I'm like, oh my god, it's Luther Harkon's like his origin here. This is sweet. So I really like the concept. I think I'm in line with Travis where I'm excited to watch this at home. Yeah, this entire movie is straight from the original Dracula book. There you go. That makes a lot of sense.
Somebody just gave us a 1-star. They don't even know about the Dracula book. The original. No, sorry, I've not read the original Wolfman, Dracula, and Frankenstein books. Sorry.
I like that this is like a horror movie on a ship, but like in this era is a fun concept for sure. And some of the shots that they had in the trailer, I think, could definitely be suspenseful, and just with the limited technology they had, like how they're gonna tackle this threat. I think this is gonna be a fun one to watch. But I'm not expecting like a 9 out of 10 or anything like that. I'm gonna go in with a steady, I don't know, steady mind going. I don't know what word I was
Steady
looking for
Demeter.
there.
I tried to tell you
Steady
everyone
Demeter.
about that 65, but you guys were fucking expecting like the next Star Wars or something like
And
that.
it wasn't.
You know?
It was trash.
It wasn't supposed to be Star Wars. It was just simple Adam Driver fighting dinosaurs, and they delivered big
Did they,
time.
though?
Yeah.
Too many jump scares.
Dylan, you excited to be on this boat?
I actually am. Yeah, this is a nice surprise trailer drop for me here. And yeah, I like I was getting Return of the Obra Dinn vibes. That's why I mentioned that when Taylor brought that up. Another, good just boat mystery where some demons are on board and people are getting fucked up. And I mean, I love that game. That game's great. It's a very different visual to this, but similar setting and all that. So I'm really into it. I also really enjoy horror movies that have a very small play area, right? A small set. I feel like that adds like this claustrophobic nature to it. You get really familiar with the location. So I like that as well. And just the cinematography and just like the coloration of the trailer and stuff like that. It just looked really good. I really enjoyed the visual appeal to it. And the hook is good enough. I think in terms of the actual horrorness of it, it does seem a bit generic to your point, Travis. But if the vibes are great and we have a great setting and that's kind of unique, then that's fine. That will deliver a good one for me. I don't know if I'll be watching this in a theater. I might watch it at home or maybe on a boat or something like that. That's probably the way I'll engage with it. But
Boat. I'd love to see you on a family trip, like bust out this movie. Like, what are we watching? Oh, I got the perfect movie to
just
watch.
throw it up on the projector and in the night sky on the moon. Yeah, that'd be
Yeah,
great.
the last voyage of Demeter. Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. I like it.
We got Sir Davos from Game of Thrones in here.
Oh yeah, we
yeah,
do. I
we
forgot
did.
about him. Yeah.
Davos.
I like. I'm just like slowly like scrolling through it. I like when you ever see
Slowly.
those like skinny humanoids and they're like crawling all around them with their hands and shit. It's fucking scares the shit out of me.
Nice. Love that for you.
You're throwing these
Taylor's
points out. I don't have
YouTube
much to
history.
add.
Taylor's YouTube history, just skinny.
Have you guys done a cryptid episode on that yet?
Skinny vamps.
On vampires,
Skinny
there's not-
vamps specifically.
Juvenile
on skinny
vamps.
vamps. There's not a lot juvenile vamps. There's not a particular lot on vampires. It's not easy to find information on them.
No, they like to keep it that way. They're pretty low key people. They don't go around advertising
They
their
need to be invited in. So
yeah, and they
hard
know
to
it and
set
they
that
never
up.
do. Yeah. Maybe one day. Well, let's take our last ad break and then I'll get to our last story. We'll be talking about some more vampires and some Deadpools and all that. We'll be right back. And we're back. So I'll just combine these two together because they're just casting news and whatnot. But so we got today announced that Mia Goth has joined the MCU. Yeah, she's joined the MCU. She's in Blade. Most people are saying it looks like it's a done deal that she's going to be Lilith, which that is very exciting news. It looks like she's going to be the Lilith that's Dracula's daughter, but still in that vein and everything like that. And then we also got announced today, either today or yesterday, that Vanessa and Colossus is going to be coming back for Deadpool 3, which is good because the actress had even said originally she kind of was like, I think it was probably a money thing. She's like, I don't know, we're talking, but I don't know if I'm going to be back for that. But Colossus is back too, which is good. So you got a lot of characters that have been they also announced Blind Al and Dohinder, I think, last week. So it seems like a lot of these OG Deadpool people are coming back, which at first didn't seem like the case. It seemed like it was just going to be maybe Deadpool, Wolverine, and then like clowning around with some of the other like Fox X-Men. But it's good to see some of Deadpool's core back. So Dylan, are you excited about Mia Goth? And also with these Deadpool characters, obviously I'm sure you're like, oh yeah, cool. But do you think these characters do you think these are like goodbye to these versions? Do you think these are people that could move with this Wade Wilson onto? Because I guarantee you, I don't think Deadpool 3 is the end of Deadpool once we start going. So do you think they could carry on, or do you think this is kind of a swan song for the universe he's in?
Yeah, quickly, Mia Goth, because there's not much to say on that because we don't know too much yet, but that's amazing. We were joking about this today in the Discord that, like, you know, SPub was asking if anyone had her casted on the fan draft, but I'm like, man, this time, you know, in July last year, I didn't even know who she was, and now I just like, she's a huge name all of a sudden, it seems like, and she's already joining the MCU, so I'm sure she's been doing great stuff for years and is now just in more popular things, but it's a cool glow up to see, so I'm happy for her there. She was definitely top of my list for this year, but it's already too late.
Yeah, I had her high
too
too.
quick.
I did think it was going to be DC, though. I actually didn't think it would be MCU. I thought it was going to be more the Black Label, like Matt Reeves, this type of. I didn't peg her MCU right now, at least. So
that's a good point. But then I think of her, it's like, okay, what would be the one Marvel project that would be a really great mix for her? It's like Blade playing Lilith, playing a vampire weirdo character.
Yeah.
So that's just perfect. I hope that is the case, or you know, Death or some other weird character like that. I want it to be someone meaty because I want her to stick around. I don't want her to be just a villain in this that gets killed off and we never see her again. Vampires, you know, they're never dying. So even if she does die in it and she is a vampire villain, hopefully she can come back in some way. But that casting is fantastic. I can't wait to see or get a confirmation of a character that she's playing. And then, I don't know, I keep feeling like that movie's around the corner, but then it keeps getting pushed back. So I need a reminder. When is this thing actually coming out? Is it 2024 September? That's the number I have in my head.
I think it's late 2024, because I think originally it was early next year, but I think it's late next year. It's had a lot of dates, but yeah, I think it's like September.
I love this comment from Espos. Hopefully she uses her real voice for this.
I would love that. Hi, Blade.
Oh my God, yeah, just some old Irish ghost voice. Yeah, I love it.
It's crazy, yeah.
That would be amazing. Okay, for the Deadpool thing, I mean, isn't Vanessa dead?
No, remember they brought her back at the end of Deadpool 2 when he got time travel, so they did bring her back. He time traveled and saved her.
Can you give me remind me, you just said it, but like,
so
he
gets
I
Cable's.
honestly thought she was dead. In my mind, she was dead.
They bring her back in the end credits. He gets
end credit. Okay.
Yeah,
I did watch that movie recently, but I don't know if maybe I turned it off before the credits or something like that.
Yeah, he gets Cable's time traveling device. He travels back to all these places, and he travels back to save Vanessa. So she was back. I was not a fan of that choice, but she's back.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously knew that was a thing at some point in my life. I forgot about it. I don't love that choice either.
No.
What is she gonna do in this movie? I feel like I'd rather really just focus on, you know, joining the MCU, that duo doing their stuff. So maybe she gets promoted to be like a character who has powers and can join.
She does become a mutant, so they could take that route. Yeah.
I think I'd be down to go that route. Or, if not, like, she'll probably just be in the background, but I guess if they set it up in the post credit, it makes sense that it's going to happen. Or else why would she be missing? It wouldn't really make any sense at all unless, once again, it's Deadpool, so they could make some silly joke about, like, oh, we didn't bring the actress back. They could just say that joke. But I guess that doesn't really excite me too much. Colossus is exciting, though. That'll be cool. I guess that will bring up some weirdness of we had a Colossus in Hugh Jackman's X-Men universe.
Yes.
Different from this one. And also visually looks different, too, and different voice and all that stuff. Not that Colossus was a huge character with a huge arc or anything in those movies anyway, but I'm sure we'll get a joke about that, so that'll be cool. And then I guess, was it the taxi driver you said was like the other guy, Dopinder?
Yeah, and right? Blind Al, Deadpool's roommate as well.
The old lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love Dopinder. He was hilarious, and so was the old lady, so sure, bring it on. I'm sure they won't be in it a lot, but those are two characters that I'm happy for them to come back. It's kind of like in Ant-Man. I was kind of bummed that we didn't get like Cassie's parents, and we like those characters just didn't really make an appearance. So it'll be cool to get those characters back. I'm into it.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Kirkland?
Yeah, I'm excited to get them back. I got the feeling though that it will be possibly the last time we see them. I think this is just the departure from those guys and just setting up Ryan Reynolds Deadpool to just have him, be a part of the greater MCU going forward. I really like the characters. I think I'd prefer to have them stick around, but I don't know. I just see Deadpool being more interacting with others as opposed to just having his own big project. But maybe I'm wrong there. Maybe this will be a big hit and we'll be getting another one and these characters stick around a little bit further there. But I don't know. I'm excited to see them nonetheless, at least one more time. Yeah.
Mia Goth, Blade.
Mia Goth, yeah, that's right. I was so just perplexed by this because she's fantastic, but don't take this the wrong way, Mia Goth, who's watching this right now, but I just see her playing a super weird role because of the characters that I've seen her play, as in Pearl. And I guess Maxine's not too weird, but she's not on the spectrum of normal that I'd put there. But
Check out Infinity
hearing,
Pool. She's fucked up in that one too. So
there you go. And hearing rumors, sounds like pretty strong rumors that she might be playing Lilith or Lilith, whatever her name is.
Lilith. Yeah.
To my knowledge, just a basically demon lady. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that actually makes sense there. So
Played some Midnight Suns. Come on, you know Lilith, don't you?
Oh yeah, there you go. I think my mind was on Diablo because I think Lilith is the main villain of that right now. But
there was rumors going around too that this hasn't been confirmed. This was more C+ scoopers, but there was rumors that they were trying to find a Thanos type character to unite all the dark Marvel characters, and a lot of people thought it could be Lilith. And if she is cast as this, I'd very much like her if she is going to be the Thanos for Ghost Rider and maybe Punisher, and I would hope Moon Knight, but there's fucking rumors of him joining Avengers, which is all right. I guess he's not
going
gonna.
to dark first.
Yeah, not all the rumors are pointing he's gonna be an Avenger, but so the dark characters Werewolf by Night, that Lilith could be their big bad, and if that's the case, good actors for it,
Yeah, I feel like there'll be some sort of comedic element to her, just from what I've experienced, her roles in the past, and in my head, I feel like that's not quite Lilith, but I don't know. There's just so many unknowns right now. I can't really judge it till I see it, sort of thing. So I think when I first heard this, I was a little bit taken aback, but now I'm accepting it at least.
Plus, let's be honest, I'm not trying to be that guy, but everybody needs to buy a car every once in a while, and you ask your parents about X or Pearl, or when Maxine
I watched both
comes
those
out.
with my dad, so
Okay, take them out.
Parents.
But ask Shay's parents about X or Pearl, or if they've seen Infinity Pool. We know these things. I guarantee you the majority of people still have no fucking clue who Mia Goth is. And I think it's one of these things where, and I'm sure maybe she did want to do it, I just didn't picture us jumping to this point yet. I think it is a good thing of hey, you want to keep doing these weird indie movies that don't make that much money? Sure, you can do that, but you got to do especially an agent being you got to do something else too. Let's use this momentum to get you something. So I feel it's kind of the way that Adam Driver did Star Wars, and then after Star Wars, he just did 65 withstanding, indie, Oscar, he did all these type of weird stuff where it's he's kind of made for his life because everyone knows him from Star Wars and he's made his money. So I feel career wise it's smart that way, because she can go and now continue to just do a bunch of weird small shit that not many people see. I'm not saying not that many, I know people have seen, but it's our communities. I don't think I know a single person in real life that's seen X or Pearl. They've probably never heard of that. X, what do you mean X? Especially even Infinity Pool, no one's ever fucking heard of that movie. They're oh, is that Deadpool? Is that the Deadpool 3 with Infinity? No, it's not. It's a sex clone movie, it's all right. So yeah, I'm very excited. She's one of the best out there, so I'm excited about that, barring her marital choices. And then the Deadpool cast, I'm excited, but I question what their screen time's gonna be. I could see them all being 10 minutes and under. I feel the first 15 to 20 minutes are going to be Deadpool in his world, living it up and everything like that. And then it's going to be TVA, Wolverine, like it's gonna be boom, 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 very fast and stuff like that too, jumping. And I don't know, I would love like a fourth wall break of a Feige type character telling them that they're getting recast or they're not making it to the universe. What'd you just look up there, Dylan?
Mia Goth.
I
her-
knew what you were typing
You said
there.
the marital thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
who is she married to? Shia LaBeouf for anyone else?
we just learned this
which I
during
did not
the
know about.
yeah,
but
we just learned this during the Mandalorian review, and I was like, no, that can't be true. And they're in
How did
open.
that come up in the Mandalorian review?
How do we?
Is she in that show?
No,
I saw
we start
Jack
talking.
Black's in there, right? But
Wasn't S-Bubs that mentioned it?
How did we start talking about?
Shia was brought up.
Oh no
somehow.
no no! It's we were talking about the Indiana Jones trailer, and someone asked if they'd bring
Oh,
up
yeah, Mutt.
his character, and yeah, I didn't even know that because when all that stuff went down with him, this is what we talked about. He was dating Margot Qualley,
she
but
has a child too, apparently.
with him, and they have an open.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they have an open marriage. So I learned so much these past 2 days, and again, I kind of question, not the greatest
Nationality:
choice.
Brazilian, British, Canadian. Yeah, but here's the thing that was blowing my mind: is her full name is Mia Gypsy Melo da Silva Goth.
You know what?
That's her
That's
full name.
surprising and not surprising at the same time.
I agree. Yeah.
Gypsy Melo da Silva.
Like if you were to show me that card and say that's their name, like yeah, that tracks. That's it. But yeah, I
Her
would
voice
love.
too. It's like
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if the actors would be down for like a scene of them being told they're not making it to the MCU. I think that would be quite funny. And I don't know if I was an actor, I'd play ball. It's like either we're gonna kill you off or we could do something very fun with it. Like I'd be down. Yeah, the Colossus thing is fun. So I think it's just gonna be a little send off because I feel like that is the fun thing is eventually getting Wade Wilson in the MCU and him being a fish out of water, like him not fitting in this universe at all because he's not from it. I think that's where the money is. So yeah, I think this is going to be a send off for these characters. I don't even know if death is the way, but that's what I think. So Tierfield, close this off.
Okay, so I think this is great with Deadpool. I think we're getting these recurring characters. I think this is fantastic. I love the idea of Deadpool 3 being feeling like a direct continuation of the last two and still just being able to exist in the MCU. I think this is fantastic. That's the best thing in the world. I think Dopinder and then Blind Owl, is that what her name was?
Blind Owl, not Owl. No, she's not like an owl, like Blind Owl, A-L.
Hey, Blind Owl. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Yeah, I think her coming back is fantastic too. So I'm all on board for all of that. Mia Goth popping into the MCU as vampire totally works. Why
Definitely
not?
works. Yeah.
Yeah, I just pulled up like an interview. I just wanted to reminder of her voice, and she's dressed like the part too. So there you go. Again,
She was dressed like a vampire in this interview you were watching.
I'll pull up back an image
Sure.
of her here so you can see.
Sorry.
'Cause,
Also, Mia Goth. Other names: Brush Cut.
That's
Now,
her
I
street
feel like
trade
maybe
name.
someone's trolling me on Wikipedia. Maybe someone in real time listening to this is going in there just changing things. But
Maybe. Yes, Buzz,
what
you
a
up to?
trippy human being Mia Goth is.
But yeah, that's the only people. Negasonic, Teenage Warhead, and I can't remember the girlfriend. She was a certain mutant as well.
Kimiko or something.
Kimiko,
like that?
yeah, but I
Yeah.
know she has like a mutant name. They could be back maybe, but I out of all of them, I feel like they have the least chance. So, yeah. Yeah, you got. Oh yeah, you're actually 100% right with this outfit. It's like she
She's
has
got the
this
gloves
on.
too. Look at those.
Yeah,
look at
she
those.
has this on, so when the boat time is not day, she cannot get burnt. Like that's what's going on.
I know this is the
She's on the
director and
boat.
they're presumably like good friends, but even just the way he's looking at her is like, what is going on?
You call it brush cut?
He's leaning back a little bit too. You notice that?
Yeah.
Like,
And that's the director of XXX or just X and Pearl. So and Maxine, which is shooting right now, which I can't wait. Fucking great cast: Kevin Bacon, Michelle Monaghan, and fucking Halsey making her acting debut. My God, movie's
Halsey,
gonna.
eh?
Yeah, Halsey's in it. I can't fucking wait. That's. I'm very excited for the closing of the trilogy, of the Pearl trilogy. Such a weird.
The Pearl trilogy, yeah.
Such a weird trilogy, but it's great that we got it. So, well, we we did it. What's going on, Dylan?
People also ask in that Google. I googled Mia Goth, and it also
Yeah.
people also got what happened to Mia Goth's eyebrows. I'm not even gonna click. I don't need to know that. That's too much information.
a lot
Yeah.
of people are doing they shave the eyebrows and then they pencil them back on thing. That's a new big thing these days.
It is.
It's
yeah,
not a new thing though. That's been around for like 15 years.
Well, no,
Turn
did I
around.
say
That's new in the grand.
You
Did
said
I
it was a
say
new
new?
thing.
The cavemen
yeah.
were
shit.
doing
You
that.
said that's a new thing.
Oh
yeah.
shit! Oh yeah.
The
Back in the
cavewomen were
Voyage of the
doing it.
Demeter times, they weren't doing that.
Help me, Father. Anyways, let's end that right here. This is the last cast of the week. We'll be back. Well, Taylor will be back with Ryanfield this weekend, but then we'll be back
There's
next
more
week.
vampires.
Yeah, more vampires. Actually, good
Week of the
crossover.
Vamps.
Juvenile
And-
vamps.
Yeah, and then we'll be reviewing Evil Dead. That's gonna be fun. We may or may not be reviewing Bo's Freight. I don't think so because it doesn't look like we're getting it either. We're a week out and no showings in Kelowna, so
So
I
weird.
don't. I don't understand it. It's not making that, and that movie apparently has a 35 to 60 million budget. But hey, maybe I you know what? At the same time, I could see the theaters seeing the trailers for that movie and being like, "Yeah, no, we'll just keep playing Avatar." like or we'll give more screens to Mario because even then I don't know how you market. Like there's that kid in the which I thought was the same as everybody else. You know, there's like the kid version of Joaquin Phoenix. That's a real actor.
Oh wow! I
For
thought it was
months,
like
everyone. Yeah, I thought it was,
CGI
yeah.
Joaquin moment,
It's a
yeah.
real guy. So everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, this is a real guy? So this movie, I don't know what the deal is going to be. And I've heard some people say it's fantastic. I've heard some people say it's like a fucking dumpster fire. So maybe that's something to do with it too, that they're not pushing it out there. Because this was the quick thing. There's a rumor going around that supposedly he thought with after Midsommar and Joaquin Phoenix just getting Oscar, this was going to be a big package for like big studios and whatnot. And apparently all studios were like, we're not touching this. But A24 did him a favor because Hereditary, Midsommar was such big hits for them to say, yeah, we'll take it. But apparently he did shop it around, and most of Hollywood was like, nah, this is a little too weird for us. sorry, Ari, you can go somewhere else. And A24 is like, all right, we'll take it. So
That's our shtick right there.
yeah, Taylor, you got that fingers waving like ET having an orgasm.
Yeah,
What's
it
up?
was waving around. So we
Oh,
went through this
no!
with Pooh Blood and Honey, where it wasn't in the mainline theaters, but
Right.
it was at that Vernon Town theater. So maybe they might randomly get Beau's Afraid. You never know.
That doesn't help me though. You're not seeing Beau's Afraid, so I'm not like taking a bus out to Vernon to see Beau's Afraid. I'm excited for it.
You're
but
in Vernon all the time, though. I message you like, hey, what's up? You're like, I'm in
It's all-
Vernon.
It's also a movie I don't know if I need to see
Hey,
alone.
what's going on? I'm in Vernon. That's his response.
Yeah, Taylor's looking out my window. I'm just playing video games on my couch, just like, oh, I'm in Vernon. Sorry. Yeah, I do go there a lot, but I don't think maybe I'm in town, but I'm not making a separate trip for Beau Was Afraid for and the CGI kid. So Whiz Kid, I'll call him from now
Whiz
on.
Kid.
I gotta find out what his name is, but
For anyone who doesn't know, Vernon's about a 45-minute drive for these guys, so
yeah, bus ride even
it's
more.
not short, but it's not long either. It's,
Yeah,
you have to make that decision though. I'm gonna make
100%,
that trip
yeah.
to go see Beau Was Afraid.
yeah. We should probably talk for another 15 minutes so Kirklin will pass out over there.
I felt like I already did it like 3 times. During
Oh,
this
you
time.
definitely did once. You definitely did once. That's yeah. Those are the. What did you work this morning, Kirkland?
This morning, last 2 days was a 5:30 a.m. start.
Ooh,
so
5:30.
it's
That's a tough one.
up in the
Yeah.
wee hours. But
Oh my
tail
god,
end,
the
Friday
Avengers
tomorrow.
Secret Wars trailer just dropped.
We're staying live, boys. We're gonna lead into another Star Wars celebration thing that's happening in Europe.
Kathleen Kennedy's been fired on the stage. George is back. Could you imagine?
I would
that?
sacrifice sleep for that. Cast.
Yeah,
that would
George.
be spicy.
That'd be the craziest day if we were wake up George Lucas back with stars. I would love just to see him with this slate of like Mando and Ahsoka, just be like, all right, what are we
I
gonna
picture
do
him on
here?"
the stage, like Tony Stark, with just like AC/DC blasting,
It's good to
like
be
back in
back.
black,
Yeah.
like just like rocking. He's got cheerleaders back there.
Jake Gyllenhaal in the background. Just,
Yeah. Quiet now. Quiet. Barf. Yeah. No, it's midichlorians. Midichlorians. Write it down. All right, let's get out of here.
Get me
That's
outta here.
GB 554. Thank you very much for watching, listening. Won't be
bye
boring.
everyone.